Welcome to Get Your Bell Rung Pro Wrestling Podcast. I am your host, KG. Guys, tonight we're going to be breaking down everything AEW Dynamite from April 15th of 2026, the fallout from Dynasty, last weekend's pay-per-view. But first, let me introduce you to our panel. We got a full house tonight. Joining us, WCW veteran, respected in-ring competitor and author of Looking Up at the Lights, a man who's bringing first-hand experience from inside the square circle. He has lived the travel, the grind, the politics, and the pressure of performing on a national stage. I am talking about the one, the only, Robbie Idol. Also joining us tonight is another veteran, a man who has been with WCW, WWE, a man who has been called the guy with the best punch in the business by everyone like JR to Cowboy Bill Watts and many more people. Also a man who has been with the WWE, a man who has had a legendary career, someone who also has firsthand experience inside the square circle, who brings legitimacy to this podcast, a man who is in Wrestling Hall of Fame. I'm talking about the Cooker, Bob Cook, and also, guys, co-host of Rasslin Memories. He has a phenomenal mind when it comes to professional wrestling. He is straight shooting. I consider him a pretty damn good analyst. A guy that is, I think he is a walking encyclopedia in the professional wrestling world. More times than not, you give him a date, the performers, he'll tell you exactly when that match was. I am talking about none other than the Grizzled Vet. Gentlemen, how are you all doing?
Good. How you doing?
Doing all right.
Good. There's so much to talk about on what happened last night. There was a couple of things that I liked. I'm not going to lie, but there was a few things that just didn't make sense to me that, quite frankly, I had to shake my head at. And we're going to get there. Start with you, Grizzle. Overall, what'd you think about the show?
I thought it was a decent show overall. I didn't mind it. Had some good matches on there. You know, had a couple things that made you scratch your head a little bit. But, like I said, we're going to talk about that. I will not be a popular person at that point in time, but hey.
I'll be honest, and then we'll get there, but the way this show started out, I'm like, hey, I like this. And there was even a promo that was done last night, second week in a row, that I thought this person's cutting a promo. I'm like, shit. In the past, I really haven't liked this person very much. Second week, I'm like, okay, maybe I'm warming up a little bit. Bob, your thoughts overall on the show?
I don't know. I wasn't that fond of it.
Hey, you know what? We all have different tastes. Robbie, when I was talking to Grizzle about the biggest segment that is going to cause, a lot of the different opinions, I told Grizzle, I really don't know where Robbie's going to be at with this, because he likes hardcore, right? And again, we'll get there. But overall, Robbie, what did you think about the podcast? I mean, the show.
I don't know yet. We haven't got going yet. But the show, I kind of agree with Bob. I wasn't fond of it.
Let's jump into it. Right away, we start off with Renee Paquette attempted to interview MJF. Of course, MJF is just going on and on and on about stuff, not allowing Renee to get in, anything. And then we see Don Callis show up, and during that conversation, MJF is giving Don Callis his flowers, but then Don Callis, apologizes for Andrade not taking care of Darby Allin. He flips out, and finally Renee has to raise her voice to get his attention, say, dude, again, your boy, I'm talking about Darby Allin, he won his match, and he picked tonight for you to face him for that title. And well, that match is now. And MJF stormed off because he was pissed. Now, the first thing that went through my mind was, I swear to God, in this short period, if MJF shows up to the ring right now in his fucking trunks, I'm going to be like, what the fuck? Because he was just in a suit and the match is starting now. Thankfully, they thought ahead and made sure that it didn't happen. I think this is one of the few times they really thought ahead about stuff within the storyline. Bob, start with you. Your thoughts about the opening segment up to the point of him walking to the ring. We'll get to what happened in the ring in a second.
I don't know. It kind of makes MJF look incredibly stupid to realize that 4 days later, he doesn't know who won that match. Like, what'd he do? Just hide under a rock for 4 days. Nobody called him. Doesn't have any friends. His wife didn't go, hey, honey, that Darby Allin challenged you for Wednesday. You should be ready. Come on, that's stupid.
Well, I mean, Robbie, what does that say about the product? That their world champion doesn't even watch the fucking product.
Well, but if you watched afterwards, I mean, he kind of set it up after the show when he beat Omega, saying, I'm going off the grid, I'm going dark, I'm going, all that stuff. So he set that up that he was going off the grid. So that was that. But I had to agree with you, KG, that I'm thinking, if he goes down to this ring in his trunks, I'm like, what is that? Like we were saying, we taped this earlier and this is earlier and we just didn't tell you that. But thank God he was walking down in his suit. So
yeah. Grizzled, do you like the way they presented this whole thing? Setting up what was set up next, which we'll talk about, or was this just, kind of not a whole lot of thought put into it?
I wouldn't say there wasn't a lot of thought put into it. I didn't have any issue with how they opened it. He did say that, like, Robbie said, he did say at the post-scrum, he was going radio silent. He was going off the grid. So, explanation, he didn't know what happened because, he didn't know the match was going to happen. And might have known that Darby won. Somebody might have told him that part. But, as far as, not knowing that Darby challenged him for tonight, possible. He said he was going radio silent and he was going to take a break. So that's what he did.
Now, it is important to mention, I don't know if this is going to evolve. You never know with AEW because they do a lot of shit. One thing that I don't like about AEW is a lot of times there's no follow through. But MJF did mention to Don Callis that Andrade would never get an opportunity to become world champion as long as he had the belt. Next, we hear MJF's music. He comes to the ring. Darby Allin's there. MJF complained about the short turnaround and said he should not be forced into this match. He initially refused. He was then told that if he did not compete in the main event, he would be stripped of the title. But before he was told that, look, I love MJF. He named everybody and their mama that he was going to sue, including the referee, the announcer, the fat pigs in the crowd, everybody. He was a man with money. But Brian Danielson or Daniel Bryan, whatever he goes by in AEW, stood up because for some reason Tony Khan decided to talk to him instead of Tony Schiavone like normal. I don't know, maybe Tony has, and Tony Schiavone and Khan, maybe they have a little tiff between one another. I don't know, but for whatever reason, Brian was the guy that made the announcement. MJF was not happy. Robbie, your thought about this segment, MJF coming to the ring, the way he acted, claimed, ready to sue everyone. He refused to wrestle. His back was hurt. Your thoughts?
MJF is good. I mean, he really, I haven't seen him do anything bad. So I like that part of it. And I know we'll get to it. So I will, when we get to it, I'll get to it. But I liked his part. I like MJF's part.
Yep. Grizzle, this was set later the night for the main event. Would you have preferred this to be the opening match, or were you good waiting to later on?
I think it was the perfect setup to put it as the main event. I mean, Darby wanted the shot now, of course. It's in his hometown, but, no, wait till the main event. And it played up, and it allowed you to make the announcement, which kind of gets the crowd up. They got something to look forward to. People watching TV, okay, hey, cool, we're going to see this match later tonight. It builds it up. People are going to want to see the match. They're going to watch the whole show. You keep it there. You give it to them right now, they might have just went, okay, I saw what I wanted to see. All right, bye, and leave. So, no, make them wait.
Bob, I got to tell you, man, last night, as far as promo-wise, this wasn't Darby's night because he came across as trying to be emotional. He talked about putting up all the signs, taping them around Seattle and stuff like that. His acting skills was absolutely fucking terrible last night, in my opinion. Terrible. I'm not talking about his wrestling skills. I would never do that. You guys know how I am. But I will talk smack about your acting skills. And that was not good, Bob. Or have I lost my mind? This was a great promo Darby cut.
Now, why is your world champion contender putting signs up for your shows? Come on. I don't care how much you love the business. Even Dusty Rhodes didn't do that.
Yeah. But he's from Seattle.
Besides, they should have been up before that. The show was
right.
But
Bob, he's from Seattle. He's one of the people. He is the people's people.
Common man. I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah. He models himself after one of the biggest scumbags in the world, Gigi Allen. Yeah. Okay.
Well, I tell you what, and we'll get into it later on, but there's a lot of shit that hit the fan later on because of how AEW ended regarding Darby Allin. But the thing is it's old shit, and we'll get there. Match 1, Ciampa against Desmond Xavier. Let me say this about Ciampa, by the way.
Do we get no chance to offer our opinions on Darby's promo?
Oh, my bad. Sorry. I kind of went around and asked different questions about that segment.
You went to Bob and then you skipped over it. I mean, hey, Robbie, we don't.
No. I asked different questions about the promo. I mean, about the segment. Different things about the segment. But go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, once again, I'm going to start off on the wrong foot. I had no issue with the promo. I liked the promo. I thought it had a little something behind it. It wasn't just I did this, didn't come across to me as bad acting.
It was literally.
I didn't get it that he was putting up posters for the AEW event. I thought he was talking about how he would go around and paper the town for events when he was starting to wrestle, when he's learning how to wrestle. I didn't get that he was putting up posters for AEW. I thought he was talking about how he was the kid that would walk around and paper up the town for the indie events.
No, he specifically said for tonight's match.
Okay, yep. I didn't catch that part.
But the acting, it was literally him going, I climb Mount Everest and put the flag. Like it was just, in my opinion.
You know what else?
For me,
other people have climbed Mount Everest too. Who gives a shit? If it's been done, who gives a shit?
Yeah, I mean, again, for me, it was good. If Grizzle liked it, you know what? That's fair. We all like what we like. I'm not going to bash on Grizzle for liking it. We all like what we like.
Oh, that would have been more fun.
It was terrible.
The bashing comes later.
Oh.
No, we're all entitled to our opinions. Right. We're all entitled to and I respect your opinion. It might be wrong. It might be wrong, but I respect it.
But you know what? That's a great thing. You know what I love about professional wrestling? You can't look. Obviously, fans can be wrong about certain factual things, but what I love about professional wrestling is when it comes to likes and dislikes, you really can't be wrong because you can't tell somebody they're wrong for what they like or what they don't like. You know what I'm saying?
Right. No, I totally agree.
Yeah. Well, you can call them fucking idiots, but.
I'm sure that term's going to come up at some point in time tonight.
No.
What I was going to actually, Robbie, would you like to chime in about, that award-winning acting? I deserve a title because I never changed anything. By the way, when Darby Allin said he never changed anything about himself, I called bullshit because he had black hair one time when he was wrestling.
Oh.
Okay, I don't remember him from way back when.
There's actually a really good documentary on YouTube you can find.
Darn it.
That actually has Darby Allin in it when he was on the indie scene before he, was on AEW. And it wasn't just Darby, it was a bunch of guys. It was really interesting. I enjoyed watching it. But go ahead, Robbie. Okay,
so and then a question on this then. So on that documentary, was he doing the stupid bumps back then too?
Put it to you this way. This kid back then, it was him and a couple of his best friends, non-wrestling guys, and they were doing skateboarding things. And they were currently had a bet about who could slide across this pole on their skateboard the best, and the loser had to get sprayed with pepper spray. I'm like, what the fuck? It little immature, but whatever. He is who he is. I mean, he's the modern day Mick Foley in many ways.
What?
He is. When it comes to the risky shit, he's the modern day Mick Foley.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
Hardcore wise.
Yeah.
So, match number one, again, Ciampa. What I was gonna say about Ciampa is I love his entrance music. I really like that song he comes out to. Desmond Xavier, the match, it was pretty straightforward. Ciampa wins via pinfall after a knee strike and a Project Ciampa. Grizzle, your thoughts on the match?
I thought it was a decent opening match. Desmond Xavier is good talent. And I'm with you. I love Ciampa's music.
Yeah.
I'm with you on that one. But yeah, no, you came off the promo, started off with a decent match, and that was the thing about this show. There was more than one decent match, which was a good thing for what was setting up for later. But no, I thought it was a good start to the show and some kind of, athletic guy, nothing too unbelievable,
Now he did after the post-match promo. He said he's came to AEW because that's where the best wrestle, and that he's coming for gold. He was the world champion title. Question for you guys, and actually I'm gonna start with Grizzled again and then go around. This is the question. If indeed they put Ciampa in this title picture and they have him chasing the title, who would you prefer? MJF versus Ciampa or Darby Allin versus Ciampa? Grizzle?
I have to think about that one. Because I think Darby might be a little more like Ciampa's style, a little more hardcore type stuff than MJF would be, but we've all seen that MJF can go with it too. I wouldn't mind seeing Ciampa and Darby myself. That's just me. Because I think it would kind of be an interesting mix of the two styles, while MJF, might be a little bit of a clash in style between the two of them. So
I tell you, this is my answer for that, and Bob will come to you. Would I like to see Darby Allin versus Ciampa? I would. Would I like to see that for the title? I would not. I would prefer him and MJF. I think the storyline would be better, him and MJF versus him and Darby Allin, because, again, my opinion, Darby Allin's not that great in the mic, and I don't think he's that great at telling a story. MJF is. I think even Ciampa is to a degree. Bob, what say you?
Well, let me say Jack Briscoe and Dory Funk Jr., Terry Funk and Jerry Lawler, Dusty Rhodes and Ric Flair, Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar, Darby Allin, Ciampa. That's a world championship match. I wish I'd have my heart attack right now. Holy shit, man.
So what you're saying is...
You got a guy who looks like a clown and an old guy who looks older than he is with a great physique, for some reason, embraces the old man look. He looks like Captain Spaulding from freaking 1,000 Corpses without the clown makeup.
You see, this is where I'm going to disagree with you as far as his look, because I think that his look actually works for him. I think it makes him look like this unhinged guy. We've seen a clean-shaven
unstoppable grandpa. I get it.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen a clean-shaven Ciampa. He just doesn't look as menacing or as threatening.
You don't got to be clean-shaven, but don't embrace the old. Come on.
Oh no, Robbie.
I agree with you as far as Ciampa, Darby Allin, but not for a championship. I mean, if it's a championship, I have to say MJF and Ciampa.
Right. Guys, FTR and Stokely. FTR celebrated their dynasty win over Adam Copeland and Christian Cage. Hathaway was involved in the segment as FTR proclaimed themselves the undisputed kings of tag team wrestling. Now, Robbie, and we've talked about this. Grizzled, when we made the predictions, we all predicted that we thought Edge or Adam Copeland and Christian would win. But I also did say at the same time, if the rumors are true that Copeland and Christian were going to be retiring at the same time, I could also see FTR winning and Copeland and Christian wanting a rematch. The only way they get this rematch is if they put their careers on the line. Robbie, do you think this is what we're going to build to, or is this it? The FTR feud with Cope and Christian is done.
No, I think it's going to go the way you're predicting it. I mean, that's what I'm thinking. So
yeah.
I have to agree with you.
Bob, I guess the question I have for you is, should this go that way, or should FTR move on to somebody else?
I don't even know anymore. There's so many old guys in wrestling. It seems like every week there's I'm going to retire, or it's my career on the line, or I win or lose, and you get this, I get that, but I'm never yeah, it's all the same gibberish.
Did you see what Tony Khan came out and said? And I only caught bits and pieces. So Grizzle, please, if you know more about it, speak up. But from what I gathered, he kind of just made the announcement that AEW is kind of now where the veterans are at. And I'm like, I don't know if that really sounded that great, to be honest with you, because I agree with you that what's going on in professional wrestling right now, guys, like where I have to believe between NXT, ROH, even TNA, that there's younger stars out there somewhere that's just not being featured. Grizzle, what's happening, man?
No, Tony did make the comment about, the veterans coming in and a chance for, different matchups and, the young guys to work with, some of these legends and things. So I agree with you, though. I don't know quite that's the route you want to go, bringing in all the legends that are at the end of their career, but it's a Tony thing. But yeah, no, he did make those comments.
Yeah, Robbie, I mean, kind of the same question. Like, with all the young talent out there, am I to believe that the younger talent is so bad right now that there's no one to build? And this is why we have so many veterans out there that's still main eventing. And don't get me wrong. Look, I'm not saying that these veterans shouldn't be in the spot because they're goddamn good. They really are. But at the same time, shouldn't we want to start seeing some of the younger superstars?
Yeah, I mean, you definitely have to start bringing some of these guys up because your stars, these older guys aren't going to be able to go for forever.
Right.
Your body just starts breaking down and everything, and you run out of gas after a while. So you need to, kind of latch onto a couple of these young guys and see where they'll take you.
Bob, let's forget AEW for a second, right? Between NXT and the investments that WWE is making with TNA with their younger talents, I mean, do you think that, between the two that, there's guys and gals out there that they should be building? Or, I mean, have we just kind of reached this empty void of future talent?
Oh, it's a tricky question because there's a lot of great young talent but can they resonate into ratings, attendance, merchandise sales? You could be the greatest wrestler in the world, like Robbie Idol, and not draw a penny. So, but the point is, the one thing I was going to say is that it's been around that way forever, and we always complain about it. I mean, WWE made fun of WCW with Billionaire Ted and the Huckster and Nacho Man when they're as old guys, because the company was led by the Hulk and Savage and all these guys that were kind of past their prime, even though they were still known to the public as who they were, as opposed to the younger talent. And that's the thing with AEW or any of these younger, even NXT. There's so many people that just kind of look the same. None of them just stand out. I admit, Darby Allin stands out because he does stupid stuff. But a guy like that's not going to be around forever.
Right. And speaking of being around, I want you guys' opinion on this. Let's take a time out. Let's talk about something that I post on social media, and it's legit. That's the amount of money that some of these superstars, and I don't think it's the superstar setting the price. I think it's TKO or WWE that's setting the price. But I think Roman Reigns was over $800 for this picture package, right? And Robbie and Cook, I really want to target you guys first with this. Is it one of these things that it's like, okay, this is just being fucking greedy, or is it fuck that, good for these guys that the business has gotten built to the point that the talent who is, putting their body at risk to entertain fans, and they are 100%, that they're able to sell these pictures and autographs for that amount of money. Where do you guys stand with that? Start with Bob first.
Well, I think if the market can bring in the fans for it, I mean, like if you could charge $100, you can charge $1,000, and people are going to pay it, you're going to charge $1,000. Now, whether they're paying it, I don't know, because I don't see the books, but they must be. I mean, so I've heard Sylvester Stallone, when he goes to these autograph signs, they hundreds of dollars to get an autograph from Stallone, but he's freaking Sylvester Stallone. It's all on how bad you want it. You're not ripping anybody off if they're willing to pay for it. Now, you're ripping them off if you get there and the guy is not there, or he won't take the picture, But I don't know. Obviously, it's greed, but, I don't know who sets it. I don't think the wrestlers have anything to do with it. It's like these conventions, they bring all these people in, and they charge what they want to make up for the money. They're paying the people to be there.
Right. And Robbie, to Bob Cook's point, he said, well, that's Sylvester Stallone. Well, in the world of professional wrestling, to these fans, Roman Reigns could be bigger than Sylvester Stallone to these people, right?
Yep.
So again, the question is, as to who was in the business, how do you feel about fans being charged this much for stuff like this? Is it good for the wrestlers that they're to that level now, or no, man, because professional wrestling fans are blue collar workers?
Depends on how much the cut is for Roman Reigns or whoever's signing, whatever they're making. But if they're paying it, and obviously someone's pulling money from somewhere, if you're dumb enough to pay that kind of price for that, hey, you either got stupid money or you don't, that means that much to you that you're going to, hey, I'm going to, instead of paying my house payment this month, I'm going to go get a picture with Roman Reigns.
Right? Yeah, I remember when Hulk Hogan
will do that,
Go ahead, Bob.
I remember when Hulk Hogan would do the signings at his beach shop in Orlando or Tampa, and people would complain, $300 to get an autograph and a picture with the Hulk, but he had a line around the corner.
Right.
And I would imagine in his case, he was getting the money because he's taking the time out of his schedule. He's going there, he's hanging out for 2 or 3 hours, and he wasn't in the best of health then. He was on constant pain, and he treated everybody like $1 million. It's really how much you wanted. Like back before I became friends with Evel Knievel, I would have done whatever they said. Hey, you got to pay this much just to meet Evel Knievel. Okay, he's freaking Evel Knievel. To me, he's my God on earth, right? So it all depends on not obviously what you have, but what you're willing to pay to meet the people you consider top of your pedestals. I don't know. Fortunately, I never had to pay to Medieval, but I'm just saying if I did, I would have.
Right, Grizzle. To you, look, I want you to forget about the people you interview. I want you to forget about you being the co-host of Rasslin Memories and all the knowledge you have with your professional wrestling. I want you to think you're a fan, you're a father, a husband, house note, POs, right? Mm. Now, this is the thing before I ask you the question. Look, TKO's greedy, WWE's greedy, but this is the thing. Last year, WrestleMania, tickets very high. Guess what? They sold over $70,000 or 70,000 tickets both nights. Why wouldn't you ask for that again? It doesn't look like it's working out for them, but at the same time, again, last year it did. Going back to you, Grizzle, with all of these things, you being a father or a husband, your son's a wrestling fan. Where do you stand on this and them asking that type of money?
You can ask whatever you want. I mean, they're going to set those prices, and some of the stuff at WrestleMania this year has been ridiculous. What is it, $821 for the Roman Reigns photo? They had the private tour of Cody's tour bus. That was what, $9,000?
Yep.
$9,000. People bought it.
It's sold out.
Yeah, it's sold out. Yeah, I don't question the pricing because if they can get it, okay. I question the sanity of the people that are paying it.
Right.
Because I'm a fan, and I took my son to Mania, but I paid $200 a piece for my tickets, and we sat up in our gunner because I'm not gonna spend the thousands to sit in front. I'm never gonna do that.
Right.
Just for example, outside of wrestling, in Arlington, Bruce Springsteen's coming to town. Gonna do the nosebleed seats at AT&T to see Springsteen are like $500. I am not spending that kind of money to sit in a nosebleed seat to see Bruce Springsteen. And I love Bruce Springsteen, but I'm not paying that.
Right.
I'm one of the guys that I'm like, you know what? No, I'm not going into Hawk for, And honestly,
I can tell you this. Sorry, but I'll tell you this, Vet. I saw Bruce Springsteen way back in the day, and he wasn't worth it. And I thank God that my buddy that I went to the show with, he had the tickets and he couldn't find nobody to go with. And I said, okay. He goes, I know it's not your music or whatever, but will you go? I go, yeah, I'll go. The highlight was seeing Clarence Clemens, but to me, Bruce wasn't all that great. I was like, wow. I freaked my lady out. I go, where's the pit at? Where's the mosh pit?
I'm going to SummerSlam. I'm going both nights. And for both nights, for 2 tickets, paid. I think
I'm still here. I swear.
Yeah, I think we paid like $1,600 for both nights for 2 tickets. I don't consider that, and it's decent seats. So I don't consider that a bad price, but I wouldn't pay that much for a bunch of stuff. Which, by the way, Bob Cook, I actually originally be on this podcast. Yeah, I told you how much you meant to me. We watched you as a kid wrestling. I would have paid you godly amounts of money to be on the podcast, but you never asked. So,
shit.
Too bad.
Well, my beautiful friend Darlene and I went and saw Pink live in concert. I'll never go to another concert because no one will ever compare. It only cost us $88 each.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. I would have paid 88 cents, but that's just me.
Hey, you son of a bitch. But the place was sold out. Place was sold out.
I'm sure. By the way, speaking of guys, on Friday before WrestleMania on Saturday, here at Get Your Bell Rung, I will be doing tours for 50 cents. I will bring you to the office. We'll be doing this fantastic podcast. 50 cents because I care about our fans and what they can afford.
And I think one of the reasons ticket sales aren't what they were last year is because a lot of people don't like the idea that it's in Vegas.
Right. Yeah.
People who went last year who might go if it was somewhere else, but they're like, we went last year. What are we going to do? Right. And if you look at WWE World today, it's a madhouse there.
Yep.
So.
Oh, I have a few people that I'm friends with now that's in the business that are there for conventions, and I've talked to them since they've been there. They're like, dude, it's a madhouse.
Well, we just saw Bill Alfonso, last Saturday, Robbie? He's in Vegas right now.
Yeah. I mean, look, the fact of the matter is people, I think right now is being reported 43,000 basically average tickets for both nights. People are talking down like that's not shit. But look, guys, fact of the matter is 43,000 people. That's a lot of people. Now, I'm sure the world of WWE, between the cost of production and everything else, that is a letdown, I guess. But man, 43,000 people, that's 86,000 people.
But I've heard that they've already made more money than last year, money-wise.
Right.
So
yeah, me too.
And by the time the show hits, well, exactly. But so it doesn't matter. They still made the money. Right. So by the time the show's done, they'll have at least 50,000 each night. If not, they'll lie and say they had 54,632 the first night, 57,082 the second night.
There's a lot of rumbling about. Shocker, rumbling, rumors, professional wrestling, right? But there's a lot of talk that because of this, the lack of ticket sales, that Triple H is to be one of the people who let go immediately after WrestleMania. And I call bullshit. I think that'd be the dumbest move. I really would.
What I like are the people who are saying that, I know Vince McMahon has his hands on this one. I'm like, people are clamoring for Vince to come back, but you're saying he has his hands in this one, but you're complaining about what's going on in this. Yep. It's like, you people are idiots.
Yeah, they
are. Vince is not coming back.
No, I agree. And let's get back. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, he'd probably get a decent pop if his frail body walked down the ramp and tried to emulate the almighty Vince from 25 years ago. But it would be embarrassing, and it would get so much negative publicity. It's not funny.
Yeah. Guys, next, the TNT Championship match. Claudio Castagnoli versus Kevin Knight. Now, I will say I enjoyed this match. And there was that fucking spot where they were on the rope. And I'm not sure if there was a mishap or not, but Claudio took the strength to pick his ass, Kevin Knight's ass up to position him, climb back up on the ropes, and did what they did. I told my wife and went, Claudio Castagnoli is so much stronger than he looks. I mean, don't get me wrong, the guy's built, but he has freakish amount of strength. Now, this is what I didn't like about the match. And it wasn't even the match. It was the fact that the match was happening now. In other words, I wish they would have saved Claudio Castagnoli versus Kevin Knight later on after Kevin Knight has had the title for a while, because you knew more than likely Kevin Knight was going over, right? I would really like to see a nice storyline and have fans to the point that you don't know who's going to win this match. I just think it was done way too soon. Nonetheless, Robbie, good match, man. I enjoyed this match.
Yeah, good match. Yeah, I agree with you where he picked him up and stuff. He was showing his strength and stuff like that. It was a good match. Probably could have put that one even on a little bit later in this card, right? But yeah, I mean, might have been match of the night.
Yeah. Bob, where are you at with this match?
It was good, but it falls into that category of I don't care.
Is there a particular reason why? Like, are you not invested in Kevin or Claudio? Or
I will say this: when again, my friend Darlene and I went and saw the legendary Don Rickles not long before he passed away. Another one of my heroes. He was at the show.
Nice.
Yeah. That's all. So he's not all bad,
right?
Don Rickles.
Where are you at with this match? And do you agree that they did this match between Claudio and Kevin maybe a little bit too soon after Kevin just winning this title? Maybe they should have, 3 months down the line, where let fans get more invested. Like, man, Claudio may actually take this because it is Claudio. Grizzle?
Oh, we're talking to me again. Yeah. I'm getting confused. You're talking to. There's too many talking heads.
I said Grizzle.
Okay, sorry. I didn't have an issue. I enjoyed the match. I don't know if 3 months down the road would have changed anything. It was a good match. I agree with you. I mean, Claudio is just a freakish example of superhuman strength. That man should not be as strong as he is, or he does not even look that strong. But no, it was a good match. Time-wise, I don't think it matters if it was 3 months down the road or whatever, because with the TNT title, there's not really a lot of storylines. A lot of it is just whoever's challenging for the title on that night. But unfortunately, that's the way with a lot of the titles, which we could also talk about through this show and Collision, which is airing right now. So,
oh, that's right.
Yep.
Is Megan Bain on the show tonight?
Don't know.
Oh, damn it! She better be.
I don't know.
Don't care.
I'm not sure.
I'm gonna sue. I'm gonna sue.
I know Leo Rush is on the show. That little freak nature. Leo Rush, that little freak is on there tonight.
That's a wacky look he's got, though.
It's different.
It is. It is. Guys, the post-match, we had Kevin cut a little promo, and he speak about Mike Bailey, referencing how they lost the trios belt and that he wasn't, mad at Mike Bailey over it. He also, gave Claudio flowers.
Oh.
Said great match. He said that he is keeping his eye on MJF potential world title match. He said Jet 2 belts energy. Grizzle, start with you. Do you think they're slowly planting seeds to have this feud between him and Speedball Mike Bailey?
I still don't see it. I still don't see a split between the two. I know it's what you're wanting to see. You're looking forward to it, so maybe you're looking for that, but I don't see it.
Maybe.
I don't see it. And as far as Kevin Knight goes with the TNT belt, great. Don't get too excited there yet, though. I don't think you're world title level yet, but hey, got to admire the enthusiasm. Yeah. I mean, and we didn't even pick Kevin Knight to be the TNT. We were both going with Ciampa. So, I mean, they threw us a swerve, and I like it because I think Kevin Knight deserves it.
Swerve, was he on the show? Oh.
Have a chance to have a run with it. So,
yeah, I mean, as far as Kevin Knight not being there yet, well, and we'll get there, but, Darby is a champion, so we'll see.
What? Darby's a champion?
We don't know that yet.
Yeah. We'll get there. Robbie, do you believe they're planting these seeds slowly between Knight and Speed? Because to me, Kevin Knight saying, I don't blame you for losing the trios belt. That's kind of a little bit of a dig, no?
Right. Yeah, could see it. I'm going to say this, and you guys may disagree with me on this one. I may not be a popular one on this. If you're going to start pushing Kevin Knight, I honestly don't think he's that good cutting promos right now. I think he needs a mouthpiece, and that's my opinion on that part. But
I would argue with that. I wouldn't, but at the same time, I've not seen him really cut a whole lot of promos yet. But based upon what I've seen, yeah, I mean, I think that having a manager would actually,
from what I've seen from his stuff he's cut,
right,
he could use a mouthpiece.
Yep. Bob, I know you said you really wasn't invested, didn't care about this match. But where are you at with Kevin Knight? I mean, do you think this guy has the talent and the ability to move up to the main event roster? Do you agree with Robbie that he needs a mouthpiece?
Is he a babyface or a heel?
He's a babyface right now.
Then he just needs time to improve. And you can't improve with some other idiot doing the talking for you, Paul Heyman.
Next, man, Renee Paquette was busy tonight. She's with Jericho. She tries to interview him about his Dynasty match with Ricochet. Jericho said he did not lose because he was rusty. He lost because of being outnumbered. Ricochet and the Demand interrupted. Ricochet said he respects Jericho even more after Dynasty and claimed he had to take him out, though, with the Ricochet. That's what he called it. He told Jericho to quit while he's ahead and reinvent himself as the guy who gets his ass kicked every week by the Demand. Jericho fouled back, of course, with the same bald insults. Said he has a weird shaped head. called Kyle Gates of Agony dumb and ugly, and challenged him to a one-on-one match, saying that without your boys, I'd beat you. Ricochet then told Gates of Agony, you just stay here no matter what. Stay out of the way. We seen Ricochet go to the ring, and as soon as Jericho was beating him down, then Gates of Agony joined in anyway, gave a beat down to Chris Jericho.
Oh my God.
Care about this at all, Bob. What about you?
That was like some of the worst beatdown, unenthusiastic kicks and punches I've ever seen on a program that's supposed to be showcasing these people in a positive light, for God's sakes. Although I did laugh at the bald stuff. Who's that big guy next to Ricochet on his right if he's facing the camera? Doesn't he belong in the WWE with like Jacob Fatu and them? He seems lost.
It was Bishop and Grizzle.
I'm not sure who the other.
I can't remember the guy. Leotola, something or the other. Grizzle, what'd you think about this segment, man? Is this gaining interest from you?
I'm not a fan of Ricochet and the Gates of Agony with the demand or whatever they're called.
Right.
I'm not a fan of it, but I mean, Jericho's doing what Jericho said he wants to do. He wants a chance to work with some of the younger talent and all that, and put them, and he'll put them over. So, that's what he's doing. He's trying to put them over. So, I mean, that's what Jericho wants to do with the end of his, or not the end, but for right now. I mean, hey, cool.
Or the end.
More power. It could be the end of his career. I mean, if that's what he wants to do and work with some of the younger talent, he's getting a chance to do it. And he's not putting the I'm Chris Jericho, I have to win everything. I mean, I was kind of shocked that Ricochet actually got the win. I was expecting Jericho to get it, but
yeah,
so obviously he's showing, hey, I'm willing to do this and work with these guys, not put myself over. So,
yeah, Robbie. First off, I don't know if I would consider Ricochet as one of the newer talents because he's been in the business for a long time.
Has Jericho worked with him much though? I don't think Jericho's worked with him.
No, I don't think so. No, it's new to him. So. Right. Robbie, is this something that is gaining your interest, that is making you invest in this storyline at all?
Not really.
No.
Not really. And I mean, I don't mind Ricochet. I don't mind the Gates of Agony and stuff. I don't mind it. It just doesn't have my attention.
Yep. Now, Renee, go ahead,
I would rather Jericho feud with Prince Puma, but that's just me.
I agree with that 100%. Renee's still interviewing people. She's with Okada and Diane Callis, and they're talking about what happened on Dynasty. Of course, if those who didn't watch Dynasty, well, Takeshita and Okada didn't see things eye to eye, and Takeshita, well, he put kind of hit him a few times, and as she's talking to Okada and Diane Callis, Takeshita walks by, and Diane Callis stops him, and Takeshita, Diane Callis is like, dude, what was that? And Takeshita says, what happened? This made me laugh. It was an accident. I didn't mean to. It was an accident. Robbie?
No, I like the segment. So, hopefully they're getting to this. I mean, we've dragged it out for too long. You need to just get to the feud. Let them go and, get them out of there and stuff, because they've just dragged this out way, way too long.
Send them back to Japan. Yeah, I agree.
I like Takeshita. I like Okada too, to be honest with you.
Yeah, Okada looks a little, since he's got American eyes, he looks a little reckless with the Rainmaker.
Yeah, true. Grizzle, where are you at with this segment, man? Because I know you're pretty critical about, too much Diane Callis, right? So where are you at with this?
Well, they haven't had a lot of Don Callis tonight, so we'll give it. It's not like the 9-segment Don Callis show we had a few months back.
Right.
I'm fine with the segment. I like the segment the way it was because I want to see Takeshita split from the Don Callis family. And I agree with Robbie. They need to get Takeshita and Okada going, or else people are going to be like, God, this took so long, we don't care anymore.
Yep.
And I liked it, and I agree with you. It kind of made me chuckle. Oh, it was an accident. So Takeshi's kind of playing it off like, oh, whoops, my bad, sorry.
Yep.
So I liked it, and I'm hoping they kind of expand on it because I want to see catching Okada, but I don't want to, have him drag it out another, 3-4 months. So
I agree. I agree completely because we see what they did with the New Day. Well, not them, but with WWE. Talking about storylines, so they get drug out. The New Day, them turning heel was, had the potential to be something hot, and then just fucking nothing. I don't want to see that happen there. But Bob, I guess the question for you is: does it matter if this match takes place next week or 4 months? Do you give a shit about this storyline?
Not even one.
No.
Match. I'm sorry, I don't care.
No, it's fine.
Their name bores me. Their style bores me. It bores me. It requires the fast forward button.
Guys, we go to Will Ospreay versus Hechicero. First, though, Don Callis comes out with Lance Archer and introduces the CMLL World Heavyweight Champion, Hechicero. Robbie, I think you said potentially the match of the night for the first match.
Knight and Cassidy.
Yeah, Knight and Cassidy. See, I disagree with you a little bit. I enjoyed this match a little bit more. And I tell you, one spot in the match was when Hechicero delivered that freaking brutal boot to the side of Ospreay's head. He connected with that. I was like, kind of expecting Will Ospreay to go down. During the match, we've seen Shafira. She was shown watching from the crowd. At one point, they had the medical staff check in on Will Ospreay as we were going to commercial. Come back with action again. They make the announcement that Will Ospreay, demanded to continue, kind of like they did a couple of weeks ago. Again, I like this match. Will Ospreay was the winner. Now, this is where I have a problem. Was after the match. When Callis ran to the ring and said Plan B, and his Plan B was Mark Davis. Now, let me tell you why I have a fucking problem with it being Mark Davis. Because I'll be goddamn if fucking Jack Little-Ass Perry didn't fucking pin Mark Davis at Dynasty, and now you want me to believe that that Mark Davis is now going to be this big threat to Will Ospreay, who, by the way, sorry, Jack Perry, I think Will Ospreay is much better than Jack Perry. So if Jack Perry could beat Mark Davis, why should I believe that Will Ospreay can't beat Mark Davis? This is what I didn't like, Grizzle. Your thoughts on it?
You're going to like it because that's the storyline. You're using logic, and we don't do that in professional wrestling. Logic has no place here.
But at the same time, real quick, let me interrupt you. At the same time, if you don't want me to use logic, goddamn, don't have the guy that you're going to use to be the threat get beat by a smaller guy 3 nights beforehand.
Well, yeah. Your comment of Will Ospreay is better than Jack Perry. Really? Yeah. No way. Will Ospreay is one of the. I enjoyed this match, and like you said, I think I might have liked this match a little bit more than than Knight and Castagnoli, but I mean, both were just really good matches. My thing with Ospreay, though, is you mentioned the boot to the head. He is still taking some serious hits. And when coming back from that neck surgery, it's like, I don't know if he's trying to prove a point or what, but he's taking some serious shots to that neck. And I'm just worried about, blew it out again or something. I don't know if this is just he wants to prove himself or what. But, he's not taking into consideration you just came back with some major neck surgery.
Yep. Bob, do you agree with that statement that he's taking too many hits? And I want to know your opinion on what I said about Mark Davis, a guy that 3 nights beforehand was beat by Jack Perry, who is smaller than Will Ospreay. But now we have to suspend our belief to believe that Mark Davis is the guy that's going to take Ospreay out.
Yeah, it makes no sense, but I agree with Grizzle.
Yeah.
When I see guys like that, they come back from next year, they're out for months, and you know what they went through. To go out there and take it doesn't matter if everything they're doing ends up safe. It's still dangerous shit when you're doing power drivers and things to your neck. Again, it doesn't matter if you're in there and it works out perfect. Why take the chance?
Right.
I get it. Maybe he is trying to prove something to himself, but that's all on Tony Khan, no matter whether you like it or not. Because Khan could pull him aside and say, look, man, we love you. You're one of the best we got. Cut that shit out. Protect yourself. It's not worth it. You're going to end up in a goddamn wheelchair like Darby Allin, and nobody is going to give a shit once they leave the arena. You're the one that's going to suffer. It's not worth it. But hey, what do I know?
Look, I agree with you. The one thing I will absolutely say when it comes to WWE, the powers that be at WWE versus powers that be Tony Khan at AEW, WWE takes better care of their talent. They do. Because again, Brian Breaker now has been medically cleared for almost 2 or 3 weeks. But WWE has said we need to make sure. I agree with everything that you're saying. Robbie.
I think Braun might be more of it. Also, he's coming back right before Mania, and they're just like, okay, kick back for a little bit until after WrestleMania, and then we'll bring you back in.
You're right, but at the same time, Grizzle, he was released before they involved Gunther in that match against Seth Rollins. They could have absolutely decided to move forward with Braun Breaker versus Seth Rollins. More people want to see that, but they decided not to. So I agree with your saying, but at the same time, they still, held back. Robbie, am I just being KG Landry using too much fucking logic with this shit, talking about the Mark Davis situation?
No, because they buried Davis.
Right.
When he lost to Perry, how he lost and everything, you buried him. Ospreay, if he's trying to prove a point or whatever, I bet you guys a lunch. He keeps doing the shit he's doing now. 6 months, he's going to be injured again.
Yeah.
And I hate to say this, but people should use as the poster boy to stop doing stupid shit is Kurt Angle. Kurt Angle is one of the best wrestlers in history, amateur and professional. If you see him now, it's so depressing because he can't hardly move. His arms are fucked up. His neck is fucked up. And it's all because, he broke his freaking neck in amateur wrestling, but he also broke it in professional wrestling and continued to bust his ass doing moonsaults off cages. And it's a spectacular moment to go back and watch, but he's suffering so bad. Now he's only in his 50s. Cut the fucking shit, dipshits. Cash the checks, put in a good effort, but stop the dangerous bullshit because it ain't worth it.
In no way, shape, or form will I compare the athleticism and with Mick Foley and Kurt Angle. Kurt Angle, obviously, hands down. But I will say this, though, as far as the poster child, you have to throw Mick Foley in there as well because Mick Foley is not too much older than I am. I'm 53. I think he's around 60 years old. He may be a little bit younger, but he walks. Oh, my gosh. I mean, the guy just hunched over when he walks. He looks like he's in pain. And I get it. He did it for the love of the business. But at the same time, you have to love yourself as well and think about your future. Yeah, Bob?
But, I get, it's one of those tricky things, especially when you're young. You're invincible. You come back feeling stronger. And a lot of times you are, right? The surgeries they do now, they can rebuild you faster, stronger, better than you were before. $6 million. But you look back, Harley Race, man, he was taking backdrops on the concrete floor nightly for decades, and he ended up in a wheelchair. And that was depressing as hell to see. I don't know I don't know what kind of advice to give anybody. I guess just live in the moment because it's fleeting and fuck it. Do what you want. What do I care?
Yes. Well, John Moxley is on our TV next. And the backstage promo discussing Ospreay. I thought this shit was done between them. Maybe not. I don't know. With having Shafir in the audience. But then he also addresses Nick Wayne and because he's facing him tonight on Collision and tells him to leave his mom in the back. Robbie, are you excited to see Nick Wayne against fucking John Moxley?
No, but here's the next question. Now with what they have done, will Nick Wayne beat John Moxley? The promo that he cut,
I doubt it.
freaking brutal. It was just absolutely brutal.
Nick Wayne. Who's his father? Or who's Buddy Wayne? Buddy Wayne.
He was a
an old wrestler, right? He was an old time wrestler.
Yeah,
because I wrestled.
I was the Oregon Washington area. He's the academy that trained Darby and a lot of other guys.
Oh, really? He went to Memphis too. I think if it's the same Buddy Wayne.
Buddy Wayne.
I wrestled him in Memphis. Me and a guy named Bucky Sigler. Oh, that's a different Buddy Wayne?
Was it?
Okay, never mind. And the whole story's ruined now. Thanks a lot.
So, but no, I mean,
I don't even know who this Buddy Wayne is. Then
you might know.
I guess bring his mom out. She's worth seeing more than the other two that'll be in the ring. So
that's true. She's a good looking.
I thought Robbie was talking. Bob.
I cut it in. I cut in like an unprofessional.
Yeah, just like Bob, great wrestler, threw a great punch, but couldn't sell a high school gym out.
Look, I have a train of thought. If I don't spew it, I forget it.
No. I wasn't saying anything about you interrupting. What I'm saying is Robbie's comment about bringing Nick Wayne's mom out together. That's
that's true.
Sorry, the two that are in the ring, I really don't care about. But.
She's bigger than all the wrestlers put together.
Grizzled.
In that match.
Are you excited to see Nick Wayne and Jon Moxley? And what you think about Moxley's promo?
I didn't really care for the promo. Am I interested in the match? Yes, I am. I like Nick Wayne. I think Nick Wayne is a talent. I'm hoping that they finally kind of figure out a spot for him because the kid's good. His dad was, really good, and obviously a dad trainer. Wrestling's in the family. His grandfather is, Moondog Ed Moretti. So I mean.
Oh, really? That's cool.
Yes. Yeah. Mama Wayne is Ed's daughter. So that's where that comes. But yeah, so I mean, the kid's got a wrestling lineage because his grandfather got to wrestle and team with Brody and worked in Japan and just all over. So Nick Wayne was kind of born into the sport, and I think he's really good.
He is good. The only problem with Nick is he's kind of the runt in that lineage, unfortunately.
He is, unfortunately, yes.
But if you added some muscle to him, and I'd not be interested. I have not found myself invested in Nick Wayne since he's been with AEW, but that is on creative, not Nick Wayne. They just haven't did anything with him that has held my interest. Bob, same question. Do you give a rat's ass about Moxley and Nick Wayne?
No, I'm still marveled that there was actually two Buddy Waynes in wrestling, and I only knew one of them.
Yeah, well, even the great Bob Cook, I guess, learned something from time to time.
Yeah, but it's useless information. So.
Will Nightingale, they replayed her promo from Dynasty.
Oh, boy.
Then she cut a promo, saying that she would kill Camille's comeback.
Thank
Next, God. We have a promo from Tekla. And it starts off actually with Renee Burkett, but then Tekla interrupts. And Tekla referenced her Dynasty win over Jamie Hayter and in South Women's Division, calling them a bunch of dumb bitches. Then Alex Windsor interrupts, and she makes reference to Tekla getting fired from Japan. And Tekla took issue and said, I was not fired from Japan. Then she's like, okay, fine, I was fired from Japan. That made me laugh. I'm not going to lie. Tekla's promo last night, like her promo a week ago, wasn't that bad, guys. I'm being honest with you. It was much better than it has in the past. She held my attention. Tekla told Alex not to blame her for her husband losing at Dynasty. Alex fired back, calling out Tekla again for being fired in Japan. Then a challenge was made for a collision for the championship. Julia Hart and Sky Blue then attacked Alex, but Alex prevailed and put both of them down. Grizzled, your thoughts on this segment? Do you think Tekla's getting better on the mic?
She seemed awkward on the mic a little bit on this one. And I don't get the, I wasn't fired. Oh, well, I was fired from New Japan. And
I think she's just trying to be funny.
She was, but it just came across kind of weird. I think it was kind of an awkward thing. My problem with this promo, unfortunately, is what I've been saying for a while there. You know, she's defending the title against Alex Windsor because of everything, right? Here's the thing. Last week, wasn't Alex Windsor part of the whole thing with her husband and all that? And 2 weeks before that, or a few weeks, didn't she debut with as part of a tag team called the Brawling Birds?
Yep.
And now all of a sudden she's getting a title shot for the women's singles belt, even though she's brought back in as a tag team wrestler, but they haven't done a tag team match in a few weeks, and I don't get that. Was the part of the promo I'm like, why are we? I know they're just kind of tying it into the match that her partner had, but she's supposed to be a tag wrestler, but now she's getting a title shot against the women's champion.
But you're using logic. You can't lose.
I know logic. I know.
Bob, where you at with this promo, man?
I thought it was okay. I like her. I don't know. Maybe it's just her wackiness. Well, no, it's because she's hot. But other than that, you know.
Robbie?
No, I think she's getting better on the mic. I mean, I agree. It was like when she said, "Yeah, I wasn't fired. Yes, I was fired." It was kind of got a little bit of a laugh out of it. But I think she's getting better on the mic. I mean, because I was not, you know how it was. I wasn't a big fan of her in the beginning. She kind of winning me over a little bit.
Hence the reason you don't put a manager when you have people with potential to get better.
Yeah, but we don't know that Kevin Knight can get better.
But, well, we don't know I can lose weight either, but I'll try.
I'm not saying anything wrong against her promo. I'm just saying it just kind of, the little joke thing kind of came, to me, it came across a little bit awkward, but I mean.
I think it's because she is awkward.
Yeah, she's definitely getting better than, originally what she was, but I've always liked her, like, in ring.
Yeah. Guys, next is what really didn't make sense to me. And I'll explain why.
Oh.
Next is for Willow's title. And we talk about Camille versus Willow. Now, this is one why this just doesn't make fucking sense. Why is Camille getting a title shot? Number one, because when she was with AEW last time, she didn't do anything. Nothing. Right?
Wasn't she Sasha's?
Yeah, that's how she was. She wasn't beating anybody.
Bodyguard.
She was just there.
Where is Sasha?
She comes back, and I get it. She attacked Willow. Big deal. Is that enough reason to give her an automatic title shot? In the world of AEW, where there's qualifying matches where you have to beat the champion to get the title, this time they take somebody who's not done anything and just gives them a title shot. That made no sense whatsoever. The match,
horrible.
Definitely my least favorite of the night. Bob, start with you.
I just thought it was a horrible match.
Yeah.
They try to bring back Camille, who no one cared about when she was there before. No one cares about her now, and they're going to care about her less after that Dick Bockel. Notice I said Dick Bockel, not Nick Bockel, Dick Bockel. Yeah, it was just not good.
Yeah, Robbie, you see where I'm coming from with Camille? Like, why would they just automatically, especially when 99% of the time they do qualifying matches. But last night they decided we don't need a qualifying match. Not that I like the qualifying matches, but it would have made more sense in this scenario because she did attack Willow Nightingale. So,
No, I agree. And I didn't even, I'm glad you kind of clarified it because I forgot she was even with Sasha Banks. So that shows you how much I either paid attention to it or remembered who she was. So I'm like, I don't even remember her being in AEW.
Nobody else does either.
Right.
And if I remember right, she turned on Mercedes.
Yeah, she did, which was also confusing. She turned on Mercedes. She got a pop when she left, but then she goes back as a heel. I don't get the Grizzle.
Well, once again, logic seems to be playing a big part in this show tonight. I don't understand Camille. I mean, she wasn't the greatest when she was there the first time. Like you said, it was kind of forgettable. I'm going to agree with Bob. This match was not good. Because you got to remember, though, Willow started off on Dark, and she was kind of an enhancement, but they built her and they worked with people. I don't think now Willow's getting to do that, but I don't think Willow's quite at that level where she can carry someone like, Camille, or because Camille is still like a rookie. She's still green as far as I'm concerned. I don't think Willow's at that level where she can carry her, and this unfortunately proved that. And if Willow's your champion, she shouldn't be putting in her performance because, like, it's just, I can't criticize the wrestling because, like I said, like you said before, we're not wrestlers. We can't do this, but it didn't look good. It looked sloppy. It looked just, there was parts where they missed, like, spots.
Yeah.
And you can see it.
Right. But I guess the question would be, if Willow isn't to the point in her career yet that she's able to carry someone less than, like a Camille, Bob, this is for you. Should Willow actually be your champion then?
Yeah, I don't know. Didn't Willow have a good match with someone recently? I gave her credit for. I don't know, but I don't know who's involved in this new American Gladiators TV show. What network is on? Who's got their fingers in it? And from what I understand,
The Miz is the Gladiator.
She's not a. He's not a gladiator. I think he's a host.
Oh, is he a host? I thought they announced him as a gladiator on the commercial.
No, I think he's just a host. But
and it starts on Friday on Amazon Prime.
Oh, okay. So Camille's on that show. There's a tie in there. Who knows how all that's connected? And that hot chick from Ohio Valley, J Rod or whatever her name is, she's on there too.
Yep.
I like her. Yep. She was in Vegas last night. I was watching her.
Next, a interview with Chris Statlander and Ashita. I guess tonight in Collision they're going to be tagging again, guys. This was a little confusing. So is Chris Statlander kind of playing it off like she doesn't want to be tagging with Sheeta, Robbie?
That's the impression I got. Sheeta doing all the talking and stuff. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, but it looks like she just put on a few pounds there from when she started in AEW.
Oh.
Yeah,
her face looked fuller. She just looked like she put on some extra weight.
She just made the list.
Bob, where are you at with this team of Chris Statlander and Sheeta?
I have no interest in it. I have two words for both of you, and I mean all three of you, and it's Megan Bain.
Okay.
That's a whole nother conversation because
I love Megan Bain.
Has just been not very
good. Stop your mouth, boy.
Megan Bain's not that good, Bob.
Oh, Danhausen? Danhausen. Yeah, it's the cooker. Would you do me a favor and curse these bastards? Yeah, get your bell rung, something like that. Look it up. You'll find it. Yeah. Curse the host. Curse all three of these guys. All right. I'll talk to you later. See, there you go. You guys are cursed.
Well, you know what? I think we are because of what happens next. There was a curse. And
you didn't go to Vet yet to get his opinion.
Oh, Vet. Sorry. With Statlander and Sheeta. I thought he said something about him.
He's cursed.
Yeah.
I'm cursed, I guess. No, it seems like she doesn't want to be part of it. And this is the weird thing about Dynamite tonight, and we're going to talk about this when we get to the main event of this, because I believe that's what's coming up next.
Uh-oh.
This is where it's going to get bad, folks. I'm telling you right now. Dynamite was good. They had good matches. Then all of a sudden, they got to the tail end of the show, and it just went like they got to the edge of the flat earth and just fell. And this was part of that promo. It went from being a good show to the last quarter of it was with this promo and Willow's match, you just went, what the? It's like they just slapped something at the end of it. And this promo was part of that. And it didn't make sense. And it doesn't make me really interested in watching Collision. I'm going to watch Collision because I'm kind of curious,
Right.
There's some I want to see, but
right. But this is
didn't
the
do
thing.
anything for me.
I would say the same thing about Dynamite that I said about Raw. I don't blame the talent for last night but you're right. Most of the matches were good. Most of them, right? It is a creative issue, or whoever's that's what the issue was. Renee Burkett with Darby Allin and Sting walks out, and there's a lot of motivation, and then Darby says it's showtime, and Sting says no, it's your time. Then the match. Now, let me start by saying this. Do I think Darby Allin has his place in professional wrestling? I do. Do I think Darby Allin puts a certain client, when it comes to a certain clientele, asses in seats? I do. Do I think Darby Allin should be the guy representing your company as the world champion? I do not. Now, what makes this even worse is how everything went fucking down. So MJF comes to the ring, and then MJF, after the announcements, oh, wait, dig in his tights. I forgot to give you my ring, my little pinky ring that has the power to knock people out. I hate that shit, right?
Pretty big ring.
Gives it to the ref, and as her back is turned, MJF kicks Darby Allin in the nuts. Well, then the ref gets distracted again. I already forgot how. But then Darby Allin, in return, kicks MJF in the nuts, except this time, that nut kick was more devastating than the first nut kick that Darby Allin got, because this nut kick put MJF back to the mat. That allowed Darby Allin to drop 4 coffin drops from each corner. Now, this is where it was fucking silly with this whole debacle. MJF, after each coffin drop, Darby Allin didn't drag him to each corner. No. Each time, MJF rolled to the corners. Now, each time this happened, I'm thinking to myself, well, how many times have we seen MJF take a finisher and he's able to roll out the ring? So I'm thinking surely he's going to roll out the ring. Nope. All 4 times around the fucking ring to each corner for Darby Allin to do the coffin drop.
Darby pulled him to one corner. Thank you very much.
Okay, one corner.
The third coffin drop, he pulled him to the corner. And it was a side headlock that caused the move, because he had Darby in the side headlock. Right. Darby pushed him off.
That's right.
And he almost collided with Aubrey.
Now, the fact that Darby Allin was able to beat MJF in a matter of a couple of minutes, this is the second time AEW has shit on their world champion. And not a different world champion, the same world champion. First, it was MJF in the qualifier match with
Brody
King. And now this. So if it's not bad enough that they have a guy representing the company now, the face of the company, who, I'm sorry, I don't think he should be the face of the company. It's how they did it, which makes it really bad. And look, I'm not just the only one. There's a lot of loyal AEW fans that's always fucking talking shit about WWE, that's always taking up for AEW, that they're not happy. I think because of the way this match went, this added a lot more heat to Darby Allin than what he would have gotten. And he would have gotten some from him getting the belt. But this added a lot more heat to him because of how this match went. Grizzled, I'm going to go to you last, because I know that you don't have a problem with this. And I'm going to give you time to... No, I'm talking, you don't have a problem with Darby Allin, having the title. So I'm going to give you time to talk. So, Bob, go to you first, man, because I think you and I were on the same page last night. I just thought this was a mockery. I thought it was fucking terrible. And I just don't understand it at all. Bob?
I'm almost flabbergasted. They say there's no king. Well, Tony Khan is the king of stupid decisions. I've been holding that all night for that. But, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to say. It was ridiculous. I like MJF. You go from a guy who dresses in suits to a guy who dresses in mink coats and makeup and, I don't know, dresses with like his God, just maybe he'll change. I doubt it, because that's what brought him to the dance. I don't know. Somebody was happy, I guess. They couldn't even sell out a 3,000 seat arena though in Darby's hometown. So that should tell you something. What it boils down to is they're not building an audience. They're not building ratings. They don't care. Let's just do it. Darby's been here since the beginning. It's his hometown. Let's have him win. He'll sell some extra pro wrestling t-shirts and it'll be nice and happy. And MJF can go make a movie and come back and whatever he does.
I mean, the fact that they fucking had the locker rooms empty.
Yeah, that was so silly.
What? Robbie?
Yeah, if that, I mean, why MJF even agreed to this thing? I mean, he'd have been better off losing it to Kenny Omega at Dynasty. I mean, if you're going to make a champion, at least have him go out with a good match. So, like, at least Omega, hell, I would have even been happier to see Andrade beat him.
And time out for a second. I'm going to come back to you. I'm glad you mentioned that because I fucking skipped this, by the way, real quick before we finish the Darby Allin thing. There was a part in the show that had fucking Kenny Omega. This was supposedly took place right after Dynasty. Walking to the medic room, and when he opened the door, Renee Burkett was there trying to talk to him. I just want to talk. And it goes to the medic room, and then there's Will Ospreay. And I swear to God, they have a moment. I think I even fucking put it in the comment, like in the chat. Is this emo night? Because what the fuck? This boo-hoo, whiny shit. What the fuck? Robbie, what you think about this segment, man?
The segment we could have did without.
Fucking A, we could have
done without that segment. But back to I mean, I would have rather, if you're going to take the strap off of MJF, and he should have lost it at Dynasty to Omega, at least give it to somebody that's credible that can carry the company. I just don't think Darby can carry that company.
No, I agree.
I don't care. For Tony to allow this, when I heard about, when I saw it, I thought, you know what, Tony, you need to grow a set of balls like Vince McMahon. Don't give a shit that it's his hometown. I don't care. I'm not putting you over because it's your hometown. Vince didn't put guys over because they lost in their hometown.
Right.
Tony, grow a set of balls, and just because. I just don't think Darby can carry the company. I don't think he's the face. You would have been better off with Omega or hell, even Andrade.
No, I will say this. And we're coming to Grizzle. I think Darby Allin as the TBS champion, because he has been, I was okay with that because he does show up every week, right? And even though I agree, Bob, he does stupid, crazy shit that I think is fucking necessary all the time. He's still there and he still has a fan base. So as the TBS champion, I didn't have a problem with that. As a world champion, Grizzle, I just do. Grizzle, I want first start off with the segment with Kenny Omega and Will Ospreay in the dressing room. And then I know you wasn't crazy about how the match went as well, but I want to hear your opinion and then take it.
The segment between Omega and Ospreay, I'm seeing that lead into a match between the two of them to see who gets a title shot. I think they're going to do it because they want to see what they want to prove it to each other, what the other can do. So That's where I'm seeing going with that. As far as this match goes, I did say wasn't a fan of how they did the match. The kick to the dick and then the 4 coffin drops. I'm like, okay. But we've seen shit like that before when WWE would do their Money in the Bank things. Guy just kind of comes out, runs out after match, does one big thing or whatever. So we've seen some shit like that. Do I have a problem with Darby as champion, though? No. He's been there since the beginning. They've often referred to him, MJF, Sammy Guevara, which I think is weird, and I think it's Jack Perry, as the pillars of the company. Because they were the 4 guys that... Huh?
I said, which I've always had a problem with because I'm like, holy shit, you pick your smallest guys with the exception of MJF as the pillar of your company.
Didn't say it made sense, but but he's been there. And we've seen, people forget this, Kofi Kingston won the title. I mean, he was an Intercontinental, he was a tag team guy, but he won the title. Kofi Mania ran with it for like 6 months. I wouldn't say Kofi was much. I mean, it wasn't. We've seen this before, though. The underdog getting the title. I have no issue with Darby representing the company. Is he going to have a long run? No. I'm pretty sure come Double or Nothing, which is in New York, MJF is going to get a rematch, and it's going to go. It's probably like a month, and it's probably a chance just to let, Max probably, like they said, he's probably got a movie to do. Go do his movie, come back, get his belt back. But it was a moment for the fans because, they've been watching Darby since the beginning, and I mean literally the beginning when he was wrestling in front of like 20 people, at an indie show in Everett, because that's where he wrestled. So for those fans there who've watched him since the beginning, this was kind of that feel-good moment for them. It ain't going to affect MJF. He can come back and get a rematch. He can get the belt. So for that, I have no issue with Darby being the champion. If they make him the champion and he's like, gets a 6 or 7 month run and he defeats Ospreay and Omega and all these other guys, okay, then I'm going to kind of call, okay, guys, you can't. But for that one feel-good moment, which allows Max to go do whatever he's got to do, come back, get the rematch, get the belt back, which is what's going to happen, I don't have an issue with it. So I think Darby gets shot because he's put in his time. Just like a lot of these other guys. He put in his time in AEW. I think it's his chance.
This is the thing, though. As far as Kofi goes, the thing with Kofi Kingston, he can cut promos. He has that he's able to cut promos. And he's actually a good wrestler. As far as the fans go, let me tell you something. If Tony Khan did this for a feel-good moment, then he failed. Because the majority of the fans that I've read, their comments, they're not happy about it. Which means that he did it for the fans of Seattle. You had less than 3,000 people. That's who he was trying to appeal, less than 3,000 people. That's a stupid move, if that's truly what he's trying to do.
The same people that are pissed off about how Darby won the belt are the same internet wrestling community that have been following Darby and go, I want him to get a title shot. But it's because of the way. If the match had been different, and I'm going to 100% stand behind this. If the match, Max kicks him in the neck, gets the advantage, and it goes on, but Darby keeps fighting back. Then gets, maybe not 4, but 2 of the coffin drops, gets the pin. If this had been more competitive where Darby had to fight to get the win, those internet fans wouldn't be so pissy. What's pissing them off...
I said that if this match would have been different, he wouldn't have got as much heat.
Yeah. It's because it was a kick to the dick and 4 coffin drops out of nowhere. Because like you said, I mean, I've been kicked in the balls before. I don't think I've dropped and just went comatose for 10 minutes. Right. And like you said, he hit the coffin drop. Max would roll, he hit the coffin drop, and then he pulls him over, and then he rolls over to the next corner. Okay, match itself did not make sense. Don't agree with how they put the belt on him, but I have no issue with him having the title. And I don't think the internet wrestling community that we love so much would have had an issue either if it was a competitive match. I think what everybody's so pissed off about is not Darby getting the belt, it's how he got the belt. Because in 2 or 3 months, MJF will have the belt. We're going to get that MJF versus Ospreay match or whatever in London at All In, which is coming up, which we know that's what they're going to go for. And Darby will have had his moment, and then he'll go back to doing his, suicide dives off of ladders and, ending his career in a wheelchair. This is just a brief moment in time, just like when Kofi had it for 6 months. Kofi never got that belt back. I don't think Darby will ever get the belt back. I think this is his one shot. It's his one chance. Run with it for like a month or so, and then pass it on to the next guy. And we've seen that many times in wrestling. That guy gets that shot, he gets the belt, and then you never see him have the title again.
Robbie, I want you to respond to what Grizzled said, comparing the Kofi and then the fans, but I also want you to answer this. Now, I know 2 pro wrestlers that I've asked enough during interviews with different people, including Bob. that for a lot of professional wrestlers, the belts, they're a prop, right? That's all it is to a lot of wrestlers. But to wrestling fans, it's more than that. Do you think putting the belt on someone like Darby Allin tarnishes that belt in the eyes of the fans? Because Grizzle, just like you said, he's going to drop the belt, go back to doing whatever he's doing, right? Back to being a mid-carder. That's not, so in other words, you put a title on a mid-carder?
Yeah, but did Kofi having the belt for the few months and then getting utterly destroyed on the debut of SmackDown on USA?
I think it was terrible. I think it was terrible.
The belt?
I think it's terrible. Robbie?
Yes.
You can't say it tarnishes it. I'll tell you what tarnished is when WCW put the belt on David Arquette. Now that's a tarnish.
Right.
So, I get it how, they're saying, oh, he's been here since day one, this and that. I guess maybe, just the issue is the way they did it, like if it would have been competitive or somebody, like even since Sting was there, you could have dragged that match out, did something and had Sting interfere to do something to MJF that helped Darby get, then you go, well, at least they were creative with it. The way 2 minutes it was over, just the way it all went down and stuff, it sucked. Bottom line, it just sucked, because MJF is your champion. Whoever idea that came up with it, and if MJF came with it, I'm sorry to say, and I love you to death, MJF, but that idea sucked, to be over like in 2 minutes. I would have rather seen it been a competitive match, and hell, even have you had Sting there, so use him and have him interfere to help Darby win. At least it would have been a better ending, a better, having them competitive than it over in 2 minutes.
Bob, same question for you. Do you think in the fans' eyes, that belt is going to hold the same value that it did?
Once it gets back on somebody worth anything. I also know, and and we don't know what the reality was behind the scenes. Maybe MJF had an injury we don't know about. They just got in there and maybe his ankle's tweaked. Maybe he's got a pulled muscle. Maybe he's, who knows the real reason it went so quick. Could be the feel-good moment, like the other guy said. Or we don't want to talk about him. Or it could be something we don't have any idea about.
Yeah. True.
No, I like the fans that go, well, they made it quick because MJF's going to make a movie and they didn't want him to get hurt. I'm thinking, okay, but they didn't care like 3 days ago when he had a freaking knockdown, drag out fight with, one of the best matches of the year with Kenny. Yeah, makes sense.
Right. Grizzle, overall, what would you grade Dynamite?
I'm going to say a B-, because there was enough at the beginning that I really got into. It was just that quarter end, and I like the fact that Darby got the belt. That it was kind of that whole thing. We're comparing it to Kofi. You can also compare it to, you're talking about the fans. You can also compare it to Mick. Mick won that title that first time, got hoisted up on the shoulders of the, DX and all that. Was that a great match? It's the best. But it was that Mick Foley finally won the world title feel-good moment.
Yeah, but that also caused the fans from WCW to all change the channel to WWE, and that's when WWE first started.
Yeah, because of Tony Schiavone and his dumbass, is going to win out, put butts in seats. Yep. Well, it did. But I'm just saying.
Was that Schiavone or was that Bischoff that did that?
That was Schiavone. Well, Bischoff told Schiavone to do it.
Bischoff told him to say it, and Schiavone said it. Oh, that'll put butts in seats, and everybody turned, and they had a massive quarter drop because everybody turned over to Raw. But I'm just saying, so taking out the Willow Camille thing, the really bad promo in the middle of with Statlander, and the why they demolished MJF in 4 coffin drops. Take that part out. I'm going to give it a B-. If the MJF match had been more competitive, I might have even gotten into possibly the A- category. But that the last 45 minutes of the show or 30 minutes of the show took it down for me, but it picked back up because unlike you guys, I enjoyed everybody coming out. I will say though everybody comes out to celebrate with Tony Khan with Darby, right? Look at her. Okay, you had the Bucks. Okay, cool. You had Brody. All right, which is kind of funny considering he had that feud with Darby just not that long ago. But you had but then you had just some oddball, like the guy in the mask, I think is one of the Dark Order guys. They just had some other random dudes go out there. And
weirdos.
It was kind of like, all right, it made the roster look a little odd because here's all these guys coming out. Except for, like I said, the Bucks, Knight, Speedball's out there. Okay, cool. But then there were just some other randoms, and I was going, who that? Who the hell is that? Who that person?
I'm going to be honest, and I'm going to tell you why I'm giving it a D+, a D.
Oh, Jesus.
D, and I'll tell you why. I'll tell you exactly why. Between the Camille and the Willow thing, just didn't make sense to me whatsoever. Then you had the Will Ospreay and Kenny Omega moment. Then you had the Darby Allin MJF match. Then on top of that, you had where was I? Hold on a second. The Mark Davis thing, right? It's just, and again, this has nothing to do with the talent, but unfortunately, whoever put this show together did such a poor job, in my opinion, that I'm going to give it a D+. Bob.
I don't think Omega and Ospreay's segment in the back was that bad. I think, like I said, it's leading up to a singles match between the two of them. It's supposed to be a conversation between the two of them. We weren't supposed to see that, even though there's a camera right there.
And then all of a sudden, Kenny Omega freaking
turn the cameras off. That part kind of threw it off a little bit. I ended up being a little harsh though, because there were some really good matches on this show that I don't think the few little negatives dropped.
Now, creative Bob, where are you at?
Well, I was going to give it a C, but as I reflect on it now, because I've had time to reflect, I'm going to give it a D, and you won't even know why. Because that reflection has brought this on. 28 or 38 years ago today, April 16th, it was a Saturday night. Claremont, Florida. 487 people in the crowd. A test of strength between me and Robbie Idol. He put my hands down. He stalked my hands. And you see this figure? Look at it. It's crooked.
Oh, yeah.
He broke that figure 38 years ago today, that son of a bitch. And Darby Allin thinks he's got a problem. Come on. Look at it. It's totally crooked. Look at it.
Robbie. We got a B+, I think.
He didn't apologize 38 years later.
A D as a dog. A D, where are you at?
Well, this is not a knock on the talent.
Right.
This where I'm going. So it's not a knock on the talent. It's whoever's bright idea was the way that the ending match and the bright idea to put the belt on Darby Allin. So it's going towards them. Reason number 2, because I had to listen to dumbass, arrogant. Most of the night my TV was on mute. But when I did have it off mute, I listened to the promos from the guys. But on part of it, I had to listen to an obnoxious, fat little bastard, Tony Schiavone. So that's why most of my TV was on mute, most of it, so I didn't have to listen to that obnoxious little bastard. And that brutal promo by John Moxley.
Oh yeah.
That was brutal
promo by him. But most of all, whoever's brightest idea was, like I said, to put the belt on Darby and the way they did it, I am giving it an F.
Wow.
Well, I would say the same people who gave that idea were the same people who didn't vote Pink into the Hall of Fame this year. Those bastards. Son of a bitch.
Yeah, but Iron Maiden's going in, even though
Who
they're going to be in
cares?
Australia the night
I
before.
voted for Pink, and she was number 3 in fan voting.
Well, okay,
Fan voting for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is such a goofy whatever. New
You
Edition was
son
like
of
the
a-
number one,
And
and
look,
they didn't even make it in.
sorry,
It's like,
guys.
they want to see what the fans want, and then don't pay attention.
Well, look, and not to mention, it's called the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Pink does not sing rock and roll.
Bullshit.
She
Have you ever
sings
seen her?
fucking
Have you
pop.
been to a concert?
Yeah,
No,
no,
she
fuck
doesn't.
no. She sings
You
pop music.
know, you don't know
So now
nothing.
my other question is, where did Billy Idol go in?
Billy
Yeah,
Idol's going in, yes.
Okay, but what about New Edition?
he's going
New
in the
Edition is
midnight
not.
hour. He's going in
New
the
Edition is
midnight
not.
hour.
You know, I'm actually watching the New Edition story right now. It's pretty interesting. But you know what made me feel old is, and I posted this on Facebook. So my wife's 13 years younger than me.
Oh,
And
I thought I was bad.
And we're watching it, and she's like, well, who's that? New Edition. Who? New Edition, you know, Bobby Brown came from there. Bill DeVoe. Who? For fuck's sake. But then she's like, well, goddamn, New Edition really didn't start get going to 86. I was 1 year old. I'm like, all right, fair enough.
How old was she when you
our
met her?
wives were not rocking out to Candy Girl in the 80s, you know. 'cause
When I met her, she was
my wife's
26.
15 years younger than me, so
Oh,
they weren't boogieing to Candy Girl like we were.
Right. Right.
oh,
And I didn't even listen to that type of music. I hated New Edition back then. And I listened to heavy metal. I knew who they were.
The metal
But,
too,
yeah.
so,
But,
hey, you know.
but the thing is she made me feel like I'm old, is what it is. I'm like,
Well, God, all you guys
You
are
are.
robbing the cradle.
I mean,
I
you know,
win though, but that's not. I'll talk about that.
So, look, for the fans who watch this and know that you're down, you think this is the end of the podcast, but it's not,
Uh-oh.
because we're going to talk about on Tuesday. We gave our predictions for the Saturday night card for WrestleMania.
I did.
Tonight, we're going to give the prediction for the Sunday night card, and on top of it, we're going to talk about the Hall of Fame. Grizzled has some things, but let's start with our predictions. We'll start with the singles match: Finn Balor versus Dominic Mysterio. That's on Sunday night. I'm going to go with Finn Balor, the Demon. He's going to win because he's undefeated, and I don't see them having Dominic beat him. Grizzle?
I'm gonna say Dominic just for the hell of it.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with Dominic because he's got the girls that can interfere. He's got JD with him and all that, you know. And then I think Finn will get his win later on. But I'm gonna go with Dominic just for the hell of it.
Robbie?
I'm probably wrong.
I'm going to go with Vet. I'm going with Dominic.
Okay.
All right.
You guys like being losers. Bob?
I'm going with the Demon.
Yeah, absolutely. Winners.
Even if Dominic wins, I'm going to refuse it.
Next is the United States Championship.
He had arms like Dominic.
By the way, guys, the I am not, the order I'm going in with the card is not necessarily the order that's going to happen on Sunday night. Matter of fact, I know it's not, because Brock Lesnar, they're opening the show. I just picked the order to go over this. The United States Championship is Sami Zayn versus Trick Williams. Trick Williams is taking this. Bob?
Trick Williams against who?
Sami Zayn for the title.
Sammy wins.
Wow. Robbie?
I'm going Trick.
Grizzle?
I'm gonna agree with the cooker, and I'm gonna say Sammy.
Okay. The IC title ladder match. I think this has the potential to steal the show. Penta, the champion, versus Rey Mysterio versus Javon Evans versus JD McDonough versus Dragon Lee versus Rusev. I think that Javon Evans is going to walk away with this. Robbie?
I think you're going to see a surprise, and it's going to be Rusev. I'm only
kidding.
No, I agree with you. I think Javon's going to pull this off.
Grizzle?
I'm going to agree with the two of you. It's going to be Javon Evans. But I will say, though, the go home for that match, though, when Rusev just literally obliterated everybody, I fucking loved it.
I'm not a big Rusev WWE fan. Cook.
I'm going with Penta.
Okay, he's going to retain.
Yes.
Next, Jade Cargill versus Rhea Ripley. Jade Cargill's retaining. Grizzle.
Yes.
Oh, my turn.
Yes.
Rhea.
Bob.
Jade for sure.
Robbie.
I am going Rhea Ripley.
See, I think not only will Jade Cargill retain, I think she's going to retain because Io Sky inadvertently does something. Because I'm predicting the next storyline is going to be Rhea with Io because, again, Rhea has never beat Io, which made it so stupid that Jade was able to beat Io clean. So,
I just can't get on the Jade Cargill train. Well, that sounded bad. That sounded bad the way I just said that.
Bob can.
I got tickets on
God.
Bob will even be the caboose.
Oh. Anyways, I can't get.
Long as I'm
Jade.
included.
No, Jesus Christ, that's not. I can't get. Hang on. I'm not a fan of Jade Cargill. She looks like $1 million, but she doesn't wrestle like. Yeah, I just can't.
Doesn't wrestle like a quarter.
Yeah, she looks great, but doesn't
Blasphemy.
wrestle as well as she looks. Forget my behind Jade Cargill and the train Jade Cargill. That was just,
how could I forget Jade Cargill's behind?
God.
I agree with that, and I think, like they said, looks like Tarzan, wrestles like Jane.
Yeah, there you go.
Jesus.
Far better than how I put it.
Like $1 million,
right.
But she's brutal on the mic. She's horrible as promos and stuff. So no, you got to take that thing off of her and keep her off the mic and everything.
I know the opening match. Brock Lesnar versus Oba Femi. I think Oba is taking this. Bob?
I got to go with Brock.
Robbie?
I'm going with Oba.
Grizzle?
Freaking Christ, I am 50-50 on this. Because Oba keeps getting the upper hand, which makes me think that they're going to put the win, like you say, he keeps getting, so they're going to put that, right. They're going to put the win on Brock because he keeps, oh, Jesus Christ. This is the one I don't know. It can go either way. I don't think Oba's going to give Brock his first loss, though, or a loss, though, because I think they're going to save that next loss for Brock. I'm going to say probably Gunther down the road, which will be Brock's final match. Brock is not going to lose until he wrestles his retirement match.
Now, I heard someone, a fan, a very interesting, I guess, prediction. They've just thrown it out there. They said they don't think it's going to happen, but they say, wouldn't this be some shit if it did happen? Paul Heyman turns on Brock Lesnar to help Oba get the win because Paul is going to go with Oba is now the new beast. Brock Lesnar is a has-been.
No. The only problem with that, though, is that's going to make Oba the heel because he's got Heyman on his side, and nobody's going to want a heel Oba because the fans love that motherfucker. But if I have to pick, I'm going to say Brock.
Go ahead, Bob.
I was just going to say, at the same time, let's say Brock beats him. Okay, they have a back and forth, and Brock beats him. It's not going to hurt Oba because, one, how old is he? He's a lot younger than Brock, right? Probably in his early 30s, maybe. I don't know.
I disagree.
But he got beat by Brock freaking Lesnar, who in real life, you talk about reality, could probably beat him.
Maybe, but this one I'm going to disagree with you.
Oh, where's my gun? Oh, I don't have.
If they do indeed go with what the rumors have consistently been, SummerSlam, Brock Lesnar, Gunther, because Brock wants to retire. The problem with Oba Femi losing and why it would hurt Oba is because Oba won't have the opportunity to get his win back.
Well, why don't they give Oba a rematch against Brock and let him beat him then, and he can retire? Who cares about Gunther?
I just don't think they would. I just don't.
A rematch. A rematch with Brock would mean more than Gunther because everybody's just going to say, it's just Brock's retirement.
You're talking about Brock Lesnar, who doesn't want to, is the problem. He won't want to have another match. He wants to do this match.
Well, you know
what
that
means. Only agreed to this match because of the money. and then that match with Gunther is
Yeah, Danhausen, it's Cooker
I
again.
disagree with that.
Could you curse Brock Lesnar? Yeah, Brock.
I disagree.
I don't blame you. He won't curse Brock Lesnar.
I don't think Brock's doing this match for the money. I don't think that because
he said so.
He's also said that he asked to work with Oba too, though. So we've heard both sides of the story there. So, but I agree with Bob though. It's not going to hurt. Oh, but he lost if he loses to Brock Lesnar.
Never listen to rumors.
His first major match against a guy that can stand toe to toe with him at WrestleMania, and then he loses. Absolutely, Robbie. What's your thoughts on that?
No, I mean, if you're going to put Lesnar over, you got to do something where
it can't be clean.
Probably going to disagree, but you have to have somebody interfere or something to cost over the match.
Hey,
now if
maybe Braun Breaker shows up,
if Brock would give Oba a nut shot and 4 coffin drops, then maybe.
If I think Braun Breaker is going to show up, but I think he's going to interfere in the South Gunther because that would just make sense.
Ugh.
We'll see.
Next, we have the World Championship match: CM Punk versus Roman Reigns. I think Roman Reigns is going over. Grizzle?
I'm going with Punk. I don't think they want to put the title back on Reigns because it would go back to being that he comes out once a month to defend it, and
as it should be.
No, we don't need another fucking 7-year title reign because he defends it 5 times a year.
It makes the title mean something because there's no other sport. Your world champion only defends it in fights, special fights, your big fights. And I think that's how it should be professional wrestling. Robbie?
I say Reigns.
Cook?
Because this is really CM Punk's moment, that's right. His dream was always main event WrestleMania, one-on-one. Last year it was, but last year it was a mixed match. It was a good match. He was smiling at the end, but he lost. I think they're going to give it to Punk just as here's your moment, kid. Roman's got more years left in him. I don't know. I'm going to go with Punk.
Okay. Grizzled Hall of Fame.
And I like Roman Reigns, so
I'm not saying against Roman Reigns. I just don't think we need to see another multi-year title run with Roman Reigns where he defends it once every 6 months.
Makes it more special.
No, it's just rehashing what they've already done. We've already seen Roman Reigns do that, so it doesn't make it special. It just makes
who says that's what they're going to do?
No one said
that's what they're going to do.
They're doing the same shit.
I mean, Jesus Christ, how long did Bruno Sammartino hold the title? How long did a lot of those guys hold the title back in the day?
But they didn't do it twice.
Bruno did.
Well, Bruno held twice, but his first reign was a lot longer than his second one.
Well, yeah.
But I'm just saying, so they're not going to no.
How many times did Hogan hold the title and hold it for long periods?
Once.
Did you see the awesome display for Hulk at the?
Yes.
That's cool. His kid bought that car, brought it in there. Ooh, I like it.
Yep. I can't wait for the Netflix thing. I really.
It's going to be good.
I can't wait. I
hope that it serves justice. I'm just nervous that somehow they're going to try to shit on him.
I don't think so. Bret Hart, baby. I got to go to the doctor that day. Damn it.
There's some heat going on between Diana Hart and Bret
I saw
Hart.
that. That's some good stuff, huh?
She fucking laced into his ass on that.
I drank with her all night once in Vegas. We had a great time at a bar at the hotel. Oh, man, she's an awesome lady. Yeah. I'm not kidding, by the way.
Back to...
I met her. I bought her romance.
She's in great shape. She was in great shape then.
Back to the Hall of Fame, Grizzle.
Veins in her arms.
The Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
I originally wanted to compare this year's Hall of Fame to past, but then I realized, you know what? That's not fair. Why we don't want to criticize. We want to recognize. Just like I said. So I don't, because comparing them, no. But I just kind of wanted to look at the Hall of Fame and specifically some of the guys there, and we just discuss, their importance in the history, because there are people shitting on it. Stephanie McMahon. Why is she only going in because Stephanie McMahon was a very important part of the, and people are just because of her father or who her husband is. No, she actually made a major contribution to the WWE. People don't realize that. Stephanie was the head of the creative. Stephanie was the on-air, she wrestled, if you want to call it that. But, it's like we need to recognize it. So Stephanie has her spot. I'm hoping that she's not the main event one where they're going to let her talk for 2 hours like her husband did last year, because that was hard and that almost put me to sleep. But Stephanie has, I mean, I don't know what you guys think of it, but I'll ask you, what do you think Stephanie's place is in the history of WWE? I mean, does she deserve her Hall of Fame spot?
Absolutely, because she was a huge factor and figure with the Attitude Era. I mean, she was a factor in the Ruthless Aggression Era. I think she deserves her flowers. She was very much involved, just in the character aspect of it, much less the things she was doing backstage. Stephanie McMahon has been put in the position that, they talk about, because of her dad. Look, Vince McMahon didn't shelter his kids. There's videos of Stephanie McMahon working for hours during selling merchandise during shows back in the day. So yes, absolutely. I think that she deserves it 100%.
What do you think, Robbie? What do you think Stephanie McMahon's kind of place in the history is?
Oh, no, I agree. I mean, she's had her place. She's contributed in many ways. So, yeah, she definitely deserves it.
Bob?
Yes, 100%. She was involved in one of wrestling's greatest debuts of all time with Kurt Angle and Ronda Rousey. I don't care what anybody says. Ronda's debut was one of the greatest debuts of all time. She did things in that match that guys today don't do, little things that they don't do that they should, that are very important.
I was
that you don't even understand. Oh, really? That's cool.
I was at Mania that year when, not the Kurt Angle Ronda Rousey match, but when they first did the thing with Ronda and Stephanie Ring and all that. So
that was good too.
I was there for that. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, that was good too. That was a great show. I mean, Sting against Triple H, one of the best matches in WrestleMania history, in my opinion.
And talking about Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar and all that. That was
and Kurt
Suplex City and everything. So
and that awesome finish, Randy Orton and Seth Rollins. Oh, come on, craziness.
But no. Stephanie definitely deserves it, and I hate it that people are saying that her father and who this. Like, no.
So what?
She's in her business,
right?
Shane necessarily don't deserve it, but he probably will get it.
Well, I don't. Would Shane actually be a candidate for the Hall of Fame? I don't think so.
No, but he'll probably get in.
That's my saying. Now, the one that is definitely has been an oversight for years, and I'm finally glad they made it work out. What do you want? Oh, okay.
Oh, what was that? The ghost?
Christ. That would be my daughter.
Oh.
Wave at the camera when you come by. No? Okay, never mind. Bye. Okay, I think we're safe now. Anyways, major oversight. They finally get their Demolition.
Yep.
Demolition has deserved to be in the WWE. There you go. Deserved to be in the WWE Hall of Fame before a lot of other people did. Now, granted, I've heard, had an issue with, or Billy had an issue with, and they had the whole thing. That's not stories. I've never really found out what exactly. But Demolition deserves to be in the Hall of Fame on this class because yes, Road Warrior ripoff, whatever. I personally think the Powers of Pain were more Road Warrior ripoffs than Demolition.
Hey, Barbarian's a cool guy.
I'm sure he is, but I mean, I'm saying the Powers of Pain team. That to me was more of a Road Warrior thing than Demolition. I think Demolition definitely. But here's the thing, and I'll ask you guys this question: we're going Demolition. Okay, you got Axe and Smash. Obviously, they're the two going in. Billy D. Barry Darso. Should Crush be mentioned in their speech? Should Crush get his chance? Because Crush was a big part of Demolition at one point towards the end, but should he at least get a mention?
So my answer would be, that's not up to me to decide. It's really not. Who am I to decide I mean, yeah.
Well, I'm not saying decide. I'm saying,
well, no,
does he get a mention? Do they give Crush his moment during their acceptance speech?
I think it just all depends on what they felt that he contributed to them during his time. I myself wouldn't feel comfortable saying, well, I don't think he deserves it because he wasn't there long or whatever, because I don't know what he did behind the scenes or anything like that. So I think it really depends on how those guys feel.
What do you think, Bob? I hear you over there making.
Oh, was I? I don't know. I don't think they should mention. Maybe they could mention him, but I don't think he should go in with them. But what do I know?
I'll say this, but let me say this real quick, Bob, because I know Adam's son, and he even said that he doesn't have a problem with his dad not going in because he wasn't, there long enough. He wasn't part of the original guys. So
yeah, maybe he'll go in sometime as Crush or whatever. I don't know.
Well, but the original guys in Demolition, then you'd have Randy Colley in there because he was there before Smash, before Barry was.
Yes. For how long?
Very briefly. But the original was Bill and Randy Colley, one of the Moondogs. Well, and then they replaced him with Darso.
Wasn't some guy named Pete Best part of the Beatles for a blink of an eye? Yeah. But anyways, the reason Demolition and them didn't go in sooner is because they were part of that concussion lawsuit for years, and that's a bullshit thing anyways. So if you're going to be part of that, you don't reward guys. Hey, the guys are suing us. Well, put them in the Hall of Fame. You don't get part of a bullshit lawsuit like that and then get put in the Hall of Fame. That's great. They're going in. They deserve it. It's all been smoothed over. But at that time, I believe that's the reason.
By the way, speaking of things you didn't know, and this doesn't, that's a long list. I found out not long ago. I had no idea that Terry Taylor was the original member of the Fantastic with James. I don't ever remember seeing that version of the Fantastics with Terry Taylor. And this came from James. James and I were talking about it. And he's like, yeah, Terry Taylor was original member. My original guy.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I didn't either.
You were talking about
they were good though.
Was that?
You were talking about that with who?
James Hines.
Oh, okay. Bobby Fulton.
Yeah, Bobby Fulton.
Yeah. I'm like, you're like James. I'm like, ooh. Yeah, no, that's all right. Okay, Bobby Fulton. Yeah.
I like Tommy Rogers. Tommy Rogers was good. He was fun to work with.
Yeah, that to me, those are the guys that I never ever remember Terry Taylor being part of that.
I don't either.
That's the first I think I've ever heard of that one.
Yep.
I'm gonna
look at that. We've heard of two Buddy Waynes and Terry Taylor as part of the Fantastic. I don't understand.
All sorts of fun.
Yeah. Robbie, what's your thoughts on Bryan Adams not being part of the induction?
I'm going to say they at least should mention him because my issue, and everybody can pile on this one, they brought him in and said he was, when they went in as the Hall of Fame, and he was not an original member, and the only time he was part of that team was with Michael Hayes, was Jimmy Garvin. He was not a Freebird. He wasn't one of the originals, and they brought him in as a Hall of Famer and said he was with the Freebirds, and he wasn't with them. He was with Michael Hayes, and by that time, the Freebirds were done, so they should mention the guy.
That was done more that was done more because Jimmy was still alive and Terry and Buddy weren't. Right, so, as far as Hall of Fame goes,
I don't care. Jimmy Garvin wasn't.
You better care.
Freebirds, though. He wasn't part of that.
I disagree with that. Jimmy Garvin was part of the Freebirds, just not the original Freebirds.
Right.
That was a different version.
I wrestled them, and they called themselves the Freebirds. What are you talking about?
Just like in WWE, you have Active Smash, but you had Smash and Crush also.
It wasn't the Freebirds.
Yeah, but the thing though, Robbie, is,
and in Texas though, he hung with the Freebirds a lot.
Well, and there are just as many. There are a lot of memories of the Freebirds with Garvin versus with Demolition. I'd have to say that there's probably comparing the two, there's very few memories of Brian Adams with Demolition versus like the Freebirds. I just think that's apple and oranges when it comes to
How
that.
ironic, though, is it that Jimmy Garvin used to have a gorgeous, see what I did? Head of hair. Now
Yeah,
he's bald.
he's bald.
What is that? What's up with that?
Still one of my favorite acceptance speeches of all time, though. Was
It's not his
Michael and
fault.
Jimmy, and I'm like,
Right.
I love that speech. It was so good.
It was a good one.
Yep.
Even got a chance to see Michael sing, baby.
Oh, God. Because
You ever sing that song, Freebird Road? It's actually pretty good.
Yes, Freebird Road is a very good song. Yeah, that's another one he's done there. I like that one too. And I've had a chance to talk with Terry's daughter, Miranda, about that song too, and everybody in the family. They didn't even actually know that Michael was doing it until he actually recorded it. So he had already recorded it, finished it before the family had even heard it yet. He wanted to do it for them as kind of a surprise before he, put it out onto the YouTube video and everything else that he did.
I always liked Michael, but when he started drinking, he liked to headbutt you, so you had to be on your toes.
I've heard some, I've heard a lot of stories.
Oh, well. He was always cool to me, though. So.
Well, that's a good thing. All right, next member of this Hall of Fame class, of course, AJ Styles. I don't think anybody can say anything bad about AJ Styles and his, contributions. TNA, WCW. You can say WCW because remember there was Air Paris, the tag team he was in at the very brief end. But AJ Styles, multi-time, TNA champion, WWE champion multiple times. I mean, obviously a definite, spotter. I think out of all of them, he's the one that should go in as the headliner. I don't think Stephanie should be a headliner. What do you think, KG?
No, because don't get me wrong. Athletic wise, obviously AJ Styles, right? Much better, than.
Oh, yeah.
But when it comes to WWE, I'm talking WWE now, not professional wrestling, not all the different promotions. WWE, I think Stephanie had a heavier hand in the success of WWE than AJ did. Again, we're talking about the Attitude Era. She was very much part of WWE rising to the top during that time. AJ Styles came in and they were already, they were there, they're successful. I don't know. I mean, again, he deserves to be in there. But if you're making me between the two, I think it should be Stephanie.
I almost want to see Stephanie do the Paul Heyman thing and be the opener. Give her chance to do the thing and then move on. She won't be, though. When your husband's the CEO, OO of the company, you're not going to be the opener.
Right.
But, I agree with you. Stephanie's contribution major, but from a wrestling standpoint, I think I'd like to hear the wrestling stories from AJ Styles as the final. And part of that is because of last year's Triple H thinking the guy who sold him a pencil at Staples one time, and I'm afraid of her speech being winded, where maybe they might be able to keep it a little under wrap, a little bit trimmed down if it was earlier in the show.
Well, and that's why when I started to answer, I specifically said, WWE, contributions only, not as a, all these other things, because it would be AJ Styles if you're taking everything as a whole because of what he's done and, his success. But if we're going strictly WWE, it has to be Stephanie.
What do you think, Robbie? Stephanie or AJ?
Stephanie.
Who should headline? Stephanie?
She's been there the whole time. She's been there since day one.
Oh, yeah.
AJ, nothing against AJ, but, yes, wrestling-wise, you have to go AJ, but, contribution-wise to WWF, WWE, all that, Stephanie.
Yeah, let's not forget, she was much more than a character. She did a lot of stuff backstage.
She did.
The Macho Man would confirm.
That's a name that ain't going to get mentioned. Unless there's a fan. I wouldn't be surprised, though, if you hear a fan throw out a, I can see it happening.
Andre will get mentioned.
Yeah.
Well, she mentions Andre every time she turned around. I just watched that Most Wanted Treasures on Andre again, and all she did was tell Andre stories for the entire, show. He held me in his hand, picked me up in his hand and did this, and I was tired, and he came and talked to me. Stephanie loved Andre. I'm sure we're going to hear about Andre forever. Now, one thing I want to discuss as part of this, because I'm not a fan of this. You got Sid Vicious, Sid Justice, Sid, whatever you want to call him, going in. You got Bad News Brown going in.
Mm-hmm.
But they're going into a legacy wing.
Yep.
I want to get your guys' take on the legacy wing. And this is where I'll compare, because you look at the names in the legacy wing. Dory Funk Jr. is in the legacy wing.
No, he's not. Dory Funk
Yes,
Sr. is.
Or
Dory Funk Jr. and Terry were done together.
That's right. Senior is in the legacy wing. Wahoo McDaniel's in the legacy wing. Bruiser Brody is in the legacy wing.
But Great Malenko is in the legacy.
Yeah, they're in the legacy. I don't like the legacy wing because it's basically just we kind of got to recognize these guys.
It's an honorable mention is basically all it is. And this is why I have an issue with it. If it wasn't kind of treated or talked about the way WWE does as kind of a side thing, as just an honorable mention, then I would have a problem with it, right? Because they're being recognized as they should be. But because of the way it's treated, that's why I do. But at the same time, part of me like, who gives a fuck? Because it's not like WWE has a brick and mortar that actually has a Hall of Fame. I wish they did. Matter of fact, I think that they could very easily convert their warehouse into that.
There's actually talks that they might do something like that eventually.
Yeah, but just because of the whole attitude towards the legacy wing, that's the issue with it. Because these guys aren't honorable mention guys. These guys are guys who they were trailblazers in their own right in the business, right? Their legacy means something in the business. And if it doesn't mean anything to those heads in WWE, I don't care. These guys mean something to the fucking fans, especially of that era. Yeah. These guys mean something to a lot of the boys, the men. And I said boys because the women really weren't as much back then as now. But these guys meant something to, their co-workers in the business back then. They mean something now. So it shouldn't be treated just as a side thing or a honorable mention type of a thing.
If they do anything, even if it's just something as simple as, they play the video and then you have, because the Miz is hosting. The Miz comes out, ladies and gentlemen, representing, Psycho Sid. And then his widow and her son, Frank, can stand up and wave to the crowd. Give the family a chance to actually, even if it's just a wave to the crowd or something, but some sort of acknowledgement. They literally just play a video and then be like, okay, that's it.
Right.
When I talk about Brody and Wahoo McDaniel, their widows didn't even know. Barbara found out about it when it went on TV. And she talked to Wahoo's wife, and she said the same thing. She didn't even know until they went on TV. If you're going to induct them, invite the family to at least come and be a part of the ceremony. Get a ring, because they give them rings. You get rings still. Even in
I know that Sid's son and Bad News' daughter are going to be there. So
yeah,
they're going to be there. But I mean, are they going to get a chance to stand up and wave at the crowd or something?
I don't know. Let me check my crystal ball.
Yeah, because that's the thing. They don't They just put them in there because they have to. They don't recognize.
That's what I'm saying about how they kind of treat it as just this
honorable mention.
Yeah, just even a 5-minute speech would be good.
Right.
His daughter and Bad. I liked Bad News. He was cool back in the day.
Absolutely.
Sid was too. I don't know.
Yes.
Yeah. Fortunately, I never got to wrestle. Sid broke Rick Ryder's neck. You know that, right?
No.
He did that whirly bird. Remember that, Robbie? And Rick was in the hospital for surgery, and I went and visited him, and I gave him a gift, and it was a Sid Vicious action figure, and he went, "You son of a bitch."
Is this so Sid Vicious have that brutal break? Was that karma from breaking Rick Ryder's neck?
No, I think that was just Rick Ryder's neck.
Yeah, I mean, Robbie, how do you feel about this whole legacy?
Yeah, that's those guys meant they contributed to the business and they meant something and stuff. So I mean, yeah, you should at least let their family give a 5-minute speech or something.
Right.
I mean, they contributed a lot to it, you know.
Yep.
Yeah, because I'm sure on what is it, second night of Mania when they do the Hall of Fame inductions?
No, it's tomorrow night.
Well, no, I mean,
you mean yeah.
They've had legacy inductees where there was like representing so and so came out on the crowd. So I mean, if the daughter's going to be there and Sid's son's going to be there, I mean, they at least let him be a part of that, representing, and wave to the crowd or something. Give him something.
Who else is going as besides and is someone else legacy, or is it just those two?
Those two are the only legacy. It's Sid and Rung. Now there is one more person going into the Hall of Fame, and I don't care about this one, and I have an argument for this one, and that's the fact that Dennis Rodman is going into the celebrity wing. Exactly. Because here's my argument, and it's always my argument with the celebrity wing. Why is Dennis Rodman going in the celebrity wing when fucking Cyndi Lauper is not in the celebrity wing for being a part of Rock and Wrestling back in the 80s? The original WrestleMania.
Right, but this is the thing. From what I understand, there's a lot of stuff with Cyndi Lauper that happened that we don't know. I understand Cyndi Lauper doesn't want to be inducted. Also, and I should have hit that boo button because I'm just joking. Because the fact of the matter is that Dennis Rodman with Hulk Hogan, there was some entertainment factor with that back in WO, right? So, does Dennis Rodman have his place with the stars, the Hollywood stuff? I don't see why not. Yeah. Because he is a legit wrestling fan on top of that.
Oh, he is, and I would love to hear his speech if he actually shows up.
Right, so I want to change that. Do that. And because I agree with Bob said, there's so much stuff that we just don't know of the whys.
This is true. But you do the legacy wing or whatever. Okay, Cyndi doesn't want to make her a legacy celebrity inductee or something. She should be recognized because of her contribution to rock and wrestling and all that, which was part of the original WrestleMania. And if it wasn't,
my question is this,
it wouldn't be where we're at now.
But my question is this: could there be legalities if they did that? If you have a celebrity saying, "I don't want you to mention my name," I'm not saying she said this. I'm just saying we don't know the conversation.
Well, I've heard. Right. They can't do Owen. They can't do Miss Elizabeth for those reasons. And I think they're probably hopeful at some time because Cyndi Lauper, along with Mr. T, people like that, most definitely deserve recognition. Right. Mm-hmm. And if she doesn't want it right now, that's fine. But maybe she's still 70 years old. She might be around for another 20 years. Who knows? Maybe they're hoping that because the Hall of Fame is the concept been going on for over 22 years in a row now. And the concept is to have it every year. So you can't put everybody in at once, or we can just not have it anymore, but they're probably hoping she can warm up to the idea and eventually be part of it. I don't know.
Unfortunately, Owen won't go in because of that's the whole thing with Martha.
Right.
And that lawsuit, whatever. So he won't go in because of that. Should he go in? Yes.
Oh,
and
sure.
There's a time where she'll finally okay. She may not show up to accept it, but maybe she'll finally give him a chance. Because AEW doing the Owen Hart thing, I hate that because yes, they're recognizing him with the Owen Hart tournament, but he had nothing to do with AEW. Tony Khan just got lucky with Martha wanting to work with him. Miss Elizabeth, unfortunately, she needs to go in, but due to her passing and some of the issues with Luger and how she died, which I think is BS.
What's weird about that? What's weird about that is, though, they've had Legends deals with her over the years with the dolls and video game appearances. So I don't know why they wouldn't care if she's in there, too. I mean, maybe just whoever controls her estate isn't easy to deal with or something. But like Martha Hart, she should get over it, basically. I get it. You can't just go, it was nobody's fault. It was an accident.
Right.
I mean, from what I understand, Vince went down the rope before Owen. He didn't ask Owen to do it without doing it himself. And it was just an accident. It's a tragic accident. Owen was an awesome guy, great wrestler. And she needs to realize that this is for the fans. It's not the WWE. They're not going to make no money off of that. No one, maybe they'll sell an extra t-shirt if Owen's face is on it. I don't know. But action figures, putting them into video games, that's all for the fans. It would just, oh man, it's awesome. Owen finally getting an action figure. He gets him with AEW, so she doesn't care about that.
Well, it's not just Martha though. I mean, I had Ross on the show, and Ross
I'm
Hartman's
just kidding. Just kidding.
And I didn't bring Owen up because I wouldn't do that because I didn't know that. But he talked about him openly, and there's still some bitterness towards WWE, even from him. So
well, get over it.
Yeah, I mean, part of it's because of the way they handled the the show must go on thing. That's always going to be up for debate. But as far as the celebrity wing goes with Rodman, I'm not faulting Rodman. Yes, he has his place in it. I just think, and maybe Cindy doesn't want to be in it. I don't know. But why is she not in it? But Rodman goes, or Drew Carey, but Cindy's not in it. Drew Carey just did a Royal Rumble where he eliminated himself.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if Cindy won't accept it,
right.
Right,
with Rodman,
I don't know the background on that one.
I heard that Rodman was an emotional wreck at Hulk's funeral, so we might get some tears out of him tomorrow night. I think that'd be awesome.
The one story I know, though, and because I've actually
hold on real quick. Wait, before you go there, but this is what I'm talking about, right? Again, nothing against Rodman, but you allow the celebrity wing, right? You allow the celebrities to get up there to talk. Mm-hmm. But you don't allow those in the legacy to get up there. To me, see, doesn't say that's craziness to me.
Yeah, because it's just the wing of the celebrity wing of the Hall of Fame, as they call it. But like I said, though, the only one I know of that has outright refused the Hall of Fame, and I've actually heard him say this himself in numerous interviews, is Rick Martel. Rick Martel has been brought up for induction multiple times, and he turns it down every time. And he has said that in an interview on Slam Wrestling that he's not interested. I don't know why.
See, that's so stupid because you get paid money for it too.
Yeah, no, he's refused. He's been asked I think 3 times, and he's refused it each time.
Put Tom Zink in then. Fuck Rick Martel. I like Tom. He was cool. Right, Robbie?
Yep.
Yeah. Yep.
I saw him at a CAC. I thought it was but yeah.
Who?
Rick Martel.
Oh, well, tell me stupid. Jeez, they give you like 10 grand or something. Take the goddamn money. Give it to charity. Do something more useful with it. He'll fly around to some stupid convention and sign autographs for a bunch of sweat hogs for $1,000, but he won't go in the Hall of Fame for a lot more. Stupid.
Yeah. Some people stay in.
Plus, he's got a Legends contract. He's in video games. He's in action figures. Well, I can't go in the Hall of Fame, though. I don't know why, but I don't know. I'm confused.
What video game is he in? I've been playing the video games for years, and I've never seen Rick Martel in a video game.
Well, he's been in action figures at least. WWE, Mattel, different things.
Okay,
got to have a deal for that.
I don't think I've seen one of those either, but I could be wrong.
Guys,
Jesus,
that wraps up tonight's podcast. Don't forget, tomorrow night we won't be on because of the Hall of Fame, but the Grizzled Vet and I will be back Saturday, 15 to 30 minutes after WrestleMania goes off, as well as Sunday. Same thing, 15 to 30 minutes after WrestleMania goes off. We'll let you know that WrestleMania, did it meet the bar? Did it supersede the bar? Or was it just okay? I don't know. Tune in to find out. Until then, you guys have a great weekend. Enjoy WrestleMania. Enjoy the Hall of Fame.
Oh, I'm going to enjoy WrestleMania night 1 because, the wife has promised a little bit of something.
And on that note, guys, you guys have a great night.
See ya.